the magician in the world of Doraemon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 601, Taking Out the Spaceship. Under the guidance of Mozo, Nobita and his friends ran to the place where the spaceship was buried in the back mountain. Nobita looked at this place and suddenly felt familiar. This place, isn't it the place where I first met Luca? Mozo nodded. Yes, the guy riding a bug scared us a lot at that time. Then Mozo jumped down from Nobita's shoulder and pointed to a place. Our spaceship is buried here, but we can't get it out no matter what. Nonsense. Burying the spaceship underground for no reason. Can it be taken out? Everyone, take a shovel and dig. Doraemon took out the Superman gloves and the easy tool set from his pocket, trying to make the items under the land see the light of day again. But when the shovel touched the ground, it made a sound of metal and iron intersecting, and the soil actually bounced all the shovels of the future. What a joke. Fat Tiger reached out and grabbed the soil on the ground. Why is this thing so hard? Is this the blockade that you and Dazzy mentioned? Unexpectedly, Fat Tiger's fingers easily pierced through a layer of soil on the ground, and with a light pinch, he crushed the small piece of soil in his hand. Now everyone was even more confused. It was obviously ordinary land. Why couldn't they dig it with Superman gloves? Forget it. Let me try another prop. Doraemon took out a big guy from his pocket. Look at my tunnel excavator. The huge machine fell on the land, and even the ground trembled. Doraemon got on the machine without saying a word. I'll try the ability of this machine. If it can be dug, then I can get the spaceship below. Then the blue fat man pressed the start button, and two mechanical arms suddenly appeared on both sides of the machine drill to stand up the prop, and the drill in front began to rotate. Zzz. The sound when the drill touched the ground gave everyone goosebumps, and they quickly covered their ears. However, everyone also clearly saw that the friction between the drill and the ground had gradually produced sparks, but there was no sign of the ground breaking. Are you kidding me? Doraemon looked at the progress in front of him and opened his eyes wide. This ground can actually block the high energy drill? In fact, it is normal for him to have this reaction, because even normal steel can be drilled through by his props. However, the magic pattern set by Yu and Dazzy is used to deal with the segmented insects living in the ground. The hardness of the shell alone is ridiculously high. If you want to stop them from drilling into the ground, you must reinforce the ground to a hardness far exceeding their shells. It is not so easy to drill through. Seeing that the props returned in vain, Doraemon had no choice but to stop the machine. Everyone outside could clearly see that the tip of the drill was somewhat rounded. It seems that Yu and Dazzy is right. We really have to give up this idea. The blue fat man put away the props he used helplessly. Nobita next to him still shouted unwillingly, but Luca was captured by the people of Kaguya to save us. Are we just going to let it go like this? Do you have any other ideas? If you have the ability, go build a spaceship yourself. Doraemon was also helpless. Besides, my space escape pod has not been restocked since it broke down before, so I can only watch. We can only leave the spaceship here first and discuss it after they come back. Mozo looked at the land, feeling very uncomfortable. Spaceship. Wait, I think I have a way. Doraemon suddenly became excited. Maybe he could try that prop. Our original purpose is not to drill through this land. We just need to take out the spaceship inside. Doraemon has been smiling all the time, which makes everyone confused. But how to take out the spaceship without drilling through the ground? This prop is needed at this time. The blue fat man smiled and took out a prop with a strange shape from his pocket. Lost and found machine. Whenever you lose something and can't find it, no matter where it is, you can use this prop to directly find the lost item. After explaining this prop, others also understood. If you take out the prop in this way, you don't have to dig the ground. That's right. And this is a prop that directly replaces space. Doraemon is also very proud. Yu and Dazzy definitely didn't expect it. Mozo walked up to Doraemon. Can this prop really do it? How to use it? You put on this port and imagine what your spaceship looks like. The blue fat man put the leather plug on Mozo's little head and prompted him to take the next step. After a while, The machine suddenly began to vibrate continuously, and then a large piece of metal suddenly spit out from the upper exit. It was Mozo's spaceship. Great, I didn't expect this trick to work. Doraemon also cheered. In this way, his future props won. Mozo also excitedly took off the leather plug on his forehead, walked over and opened the spaceship. I have to take this opportunity to check this escape pod carefully. If this kind of thing goes on the road without inspection, it is very likely to have problems on the way, endangering everyone's lives. Moreover, it has been buried below for so long, it is hard to guarantee that some key parts have not been damaged. A comprehensive inspection is necessary to rest assured. Others also expressed their understanding. Okay, we will wait for you here, and set off immediately after the inspection. No, you can't wait for us here. On the contrary, you must go back now. Doraemon immediately rejected their kindness with righteous words. Listen to me, everyone. Pretend to be dejected, and go back now. The blue fat man looked solemn. If you and Daisy finds out that we have succeeded, then we may really not be able to go. Only then did everyone remember that the reason why they were having such a hard time was because you and Daisy was causing trouble. The blue fat man was also a little helpless. Actually, I don't want you to go over there either, because this journey is too dangerous. But I understand that you don't want to leave your companions behind, so I agreed to help you. Now listen to my command, and go back to stabilize them first. The people behind him no longer hesitated and immediately agreed. No problem, we will go back and prepare things now. When can you finish the inspection? The blue fat man took out his watch and looked at it. It will take about 2 hours. It's almost 6 o'clock now, so let's agree to meet at 8 o'clock in the evening. Of course, everyone should think about it carefully after going back. If you choose to quit before setting off, no one will blame you. Also prepare some food by the way. I don't know when I can come back after this departure, so be fully prepared. Understood. I promise to complete the task. Everyone saluted them like a soldier, and then turned around and left here. Looking at their backs as they went away, Doraemon breathed a sigh of relief. There should be no problem in this case, right? I just hope they won't find out. They're back, let's get started. Mozo said to Doraemon, while holding a screwdriver. We must complete the escape pod inspection before they come back. Chapter 602 Arrival at Kaguya. Finished. Gian and Daisy welded the last piece of iron sheet on the spacecraft. Now there will be no mistakes in the props used for the journey. Daisy and Zayashi worked together to detect with their mental power, confirming that each part was in its position, and then they opened the hatch with confidence. After all, the 7 superpowers only installed it together for an hour. This kind of rush-made thing may have some safety hazards, and requires strict debugging and inspection. Zayashi took the lead and walked in. In order to save parts and time, I only made the cockpit here, and the rest of the place is the power core. After everyone walked into the hatch, there was a cabin for 3 people to operate, and there were several chairs next to it for them to rest. The main purpose was actually to let everyone sit down well, so as not to be accidentally thrown out after taking off. According to Yu and Daz's estimation, after entering the hyperspace voyage, it would only take a few minutes to reach the destination. Why would they need to rest? Okay, Dazi, go and inlay the magic stones. Zayashi sat in the driving position. I'll debug the performance of the spacecraft during this time. The power problem was solved by Yu and Dazi. He still had dozens of intermediate and low-level magic stones in his hand, which were just right for use here. Anyway, the magic power of these magic stones was not very high, and Yu and Dazi basically couldn't use them. Even if they were completely consumed here, he would not feel sad. Yu and Dazi walked to the power room at the back, and inlaid 13 intermediate magic stones in the core position, and 32 low-level magic stones at the surrounding nodes. When he moved the magic stones forward, the surrounding lines suddenly surged with light, and the entire spacecraft was completely powered. Demission in the cockpit also discovered that the power core was turned on, and began to debug the data, and detect the operation of the spacecraft. The power source is sufficient. It seems that the energy provided by the magic stone exceeds our expectations. If we squeeze it with all our strength, it can definitely supply a round trip. If we don't squeeze the magic core, it will take at least 3 hours. to recharge after the first voyage, before we can set sail again. Xiaoshan set the energy output power to a low level, which means that he doesn't want to destroy these magic stones. Anyway, he will stay on them for a while, so he should save as much as possible. Who can guarantee that they won't go to other planets in the future? And as he also returned to the cockpit, how is it? There should be no problem with the power. Don't worry, everything has been adjusted. Now you put the beacon up, we are ready to go. Chumushin pressed a button on the operating table, and a groove suddenly appeared next to it, indicating Dazi to put his props on it. Dazi slowly closed his eyes, and a crystal clear crystal ball slowly flew out from his forehead and finally landed in the position arranged by Chumushin. Izuki immediately started to operate. Very good. Now you try to track the position of Luke at Tsukino. I will start to set up the star map beacon. The people behind watched the two people's operation, although they didn't understand anything, but they felt that they were very powerful. Very good. The coordinates are set. Xiaoshan looked at the data on the screen and became excited. Everyone return to your seats and fasten your seat belts. We will set off immediately. The huge machine entered the invisible state and then soared into the sky. The surrounding trees were broken by the huge air pressure. Ziofu, who had been closely watching their movements from a distance, smiled, left the telescope and called Nobita. They have already set off. The operation is safe. Okay, I will start preparing here immediately. Nobita and his friends finally started to pack up. In order not to attract their attention, Nobita and his friends specially agreed to wait until they left before packing up. After flying out of the atmosphere, Xiaoshan mobilized his mental power to prepare to enter the super time and space channel and fly to an unknown galaxy. But the technology they got from the universe drifting fleet last time perfectly solved the problem of long distance navigation, making cross-galaxy travel possible. Although I have had this technology for a while, this is the first time I have officially crossed the galaxy. According to my calculations, it should not be wrong, right? He wanted to use it last time, but the first spaceship crashed after leaving the Earth, which made him unable to obtain the experimental data, which was a pity. Dekisugi adjusted his own state, reached out to turn on a bunch of switches, and then pushed the handle next to him to the bottom. Super time and space jump navigation device. Start. The machine inside the power room began to run at full speed. The energy of the magic stone was madly extracted, and colorful light spots gradually appeared around. Sure enough, this thing is a space-based device. And as he grabbed the handrail, it seems that the benefits I got from the universe drifting fleet before were too little. Now he regretted it very much. Why didn't he ask the other party for more technology? According to their contributions, this little thing should be easy, right? The light spots around gradually became denser, and the light passing backwards in the space became more and finally filled everyone's sight. On the outer layer of the spacecraft, countless lights flying backwards formed a colorful passage, announcing that their first test flight was successful. Great, my calculations are correct. Although he succeeded, Izuki still did not relax, but kept observing the situation of the spacecraft through the dial and mental power. The degree of wear on the outer shell of the spacecraft is within expectations, and there is no sign of overheating in the main power source at the rear, and all parts are operating normally. After repeated confirmation, Xiaoshan also breathed a sigh of relief. This time the calculation was finally correct. They really succeeded. And as he was also continuing to communicate with the crystal ball to ensure that his own course was correct. It would be embarrassing if he went to the wrong place. Others did not speak, sitting in their seats with their eyes closed, fully preparing for the battle they might face later. More than 10 minutes passed, and Izuki suddenly began to adjust the switch. Everyone listen, we are about to exit the channel, and there may be some bumps. Got it? Everyone is a superpower with strong psychological quality, so naturally they will not panic because of a small matter. After notifying everyone of the information, Xiaoshan also pulled the handle next to him back to its original position, and the light spots around the spacecraft began to gradually decrease and disappear. Although it was exiting the super time and space channel, the speed of the spacecraft did not decrease much, which was also to prevent injuries due to inertia. a colorful passage suddenly appeared in the sky near Kaguya, and a simple small spaceship rushed out from the road, and then quickly adjusted its speed. After leaving here, everyone felt a pulling force on their bodies, which made people with poor physical fitness feel a little uncomfortable. Although the effects of deceleration were a little uncomfortable, they were not to the point where people would be injured, so no one asked for help from others. After the speed of the spacecraft was reduced to a certain level, Yu and Daisy took out the crystal ball from the groove and confirmed that this was the destination. Izuki looked at Kaguya in front of him with a burning look in his eyes. Everyone, I have good news here. We really found a place where civilization exists. After that, the eyes of everyone in the cabin became hot. Can they finally come into contact with other high-tech civilizations? Chapter 603, Landing on Kaguya. After coming out of the hyperspace channel, everyone saw two planets, one large and one small, rotating in the universe in front of them, and there was a huge groove on the small planet. From the size, the big one should be Kaguya, but why is there such a big groove on the satellite? Tsuneo Shiyumi pointed at the pit, and was very puzzled. Dekisu remembered something and explained, that thing seems to be made by the people of Kaguya. I heard from Luke at Tsukino that the people of Kaguya made weapons of mass destruction and used their own satellite as a test site. But unfortunately, it was because of the countless fragments of this test that fell on Kaguya and caused an effect similar to a meteorite impact, which caused Kaguya to lose its light. After listening to his explanation, almost everyone present looked at Kaguya below with the look of this guy is a fool. Lisa Nayu lost confidence even more. Such a stupid senior executive. Should we give up the idea of negotiating with the other party? Let's give them a chance. But it's better to be a little stupid, so that I can control them more easily. Izuka was full of confidence in this. Izuki controlled the spaceship to enter the atmosphere. We are about to enter. Yu and Daisuke, help me. Let the spaceship enter stealth mode to ensure our advantage of concealment. No problem, my magic device is just good at this. Yu and Daisy threw out his cloak and surrounded the entire spaceship. The black cloak covered the outside of the spaceship, and the entire spaceship seemed to have entered another time and space channel and disappeared completely. Now the spaceship should be able to avoid all detection methods, not just invisible. We came so quickly, I wonder if those who took away Tsukinolika have arrived? Are we still ahead of them? Tsuneo Shiyumi looked a little excited. For some reason, she actually felt a little proud of them. No, they should have arrived long ago. Zayanishin shook his head. After all, the people of Kaguya arrived at the scene a few minutes after Luke Tsukino and the others used the ether. That's right. Although this technology also comes from outer space, it seems that there is still a big gap between the levels of the two advanced civilizations. The last time they went to the place, the people of the other side didn't even have a large-scale lethal weapon, just a few small airships, and this time the civilization is obviously a huge and terrifying war machine. Now is not the time to talk about this. Demishin's expression suddenly became serious. We will know what this civilization looks like soon. As he spoke, the spaceship they were riding had passed through the heavy fog and arrived safely in the interior of Kaguya. As soon as they walked in, everyone frowned. The clouds on this planet are too thick, so there is no light from the outside. And because of this reason, it is very difficult for plants to grow here. At least where I saw, there are no green plants. Everyone looked at this land and felt a sense of sadness in their hearts. The bumpy ground seemed to be telling some tragic past. It seems that the disaster 1,000 years ago had a huge impact on them, and it has not been completely eliminated until now. Yu and Daisuke looked at the withered star, and his heart was filled with waves of sadness. The laws of the stars were engraved in his sea of consciousness, so he felt the star most directly. The pain that lasted for 1,000 years had begun to affect his state of mind. Forget it, let's put away this useless pity. Yu and Daisuke took back his mental power. I'll go down for a while and see if I can meet someone on the other side who may know the top. After saying that, he used a space spell to teleport himself to the ground. The people here were working hard on a construction site. First, we have to solve the language problem. Yu and Daisuke used his mental power as a translator and began to look for a suitable candidate. In order not to expose himself, He also entered the invisible state now, and then he just needed to find a similar little transparent person. Work for me. Why are you being lazy? Don't you want your food? A man who looked like an officer was wandering around waving a whip. After the officer passed by, a woman behind him grumbled in dissatisfaction. Really? We are asked to make these destructive weapons and spaceships every day. Isn't it enough to harm the planet? Yu and as he instantly became interested and focused his attention on the woman, wanting to see if there was any other information. Shh, don't talk nonsense here. A person next to her hurriedly stopped her, then carefully looked around and made sure that the officer was not paying attention before he was relieved. Just be content. If it weren't for these weapons, we wouldn't even have food to eat. The man began to say something that Yu and as he wanted to hear. If those armies hadn't been plundering resources everywhere, where would we get food? We would have starved to death. I have a friend who is a soldier. He said that basically all the energy from the planets they have visited will be plundered and used as light sources to produce food for everyone. And most importantly, they are also looking for a suitable planet for immigration. Just take it easy. Unexpectedly, the woman became even more dissatisfied after hearing this. Don't say such useless consolation. It's been 1,000 years. How is it possible that they haven't found a suitable place for immigration in 1,000 years? Let me tell you, my son used to be a soldier. They told me before that they found a place where suspected immigrants were coming and they were waiting to go back to collect the reward. Do you know the result? My son was accused of treason the next day. Don't you know those senior officials yet? They have never thought about using the resources of the entire planet to immigrate. Otherwise, where can they find so many cheap labor to make weapons? And as he frowned, it seemed that the things on this planet were not as simple as he thought. He needed a deeper understanding. I'm going to take a break. I'm a little tired after standing for so long. The officer cracked his whip and said, don't be lazy, you guys. If I see you, you won't have food to eat. The people around him were even more dissatisfied, but they didn't dare to say anything. After all, a word from others could make them starve for a few days. Seeing his bureaucratic look, Yu and as he was even more upset. I saw you come out a few minutes ago. This bastard has not stood for as long as me, and he dares to say he is tired. He rolled up his sleeves and said, it seems that I have to take some time to help him correct his personality. Following the tired officer all the way to the lounge, there were hot water, drinks, and snacks, but he went straight to the computer. Officer brother, you are finally back. A girl on the opposite side said in a very coquettish voice, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Oh my little darling, you know, those lowly people will be lazy if they don't see each other for a while, so I still have to show my face. The little girl smiled and prepared to give him a 20th content. So what do you think now? What is behind you? The officer broke out in a cold sweat instantly. He was the only one here. Could there be anyone else? He turned his head stiffly, and Yu and Daisuke, who was covered in black mist, was looking at him coldly. Chapter 604, Overview of Kaguya. When the officer saw this shadow-like thing, his eyes doubled, and he completely lost consciousness. Yu and Daisuke ignored him for the time being. The woman opposite was still in a state of shock. He had to quickly resolve the uncertain factor. Look into my eyes. Yu and Daisuke shouted, and this shout made her subconsciously focus all her attention on the black mist and blood-red eyes. Then his voice became soft. Yes, that's it. Sleep quietly, and forget everything that happened just now. After you wake up. The girl opposite felt that the other party's voice and eyes had a magical power. Her consciousness slowly weakened with the other party's voice, and finally lay on the ground. It seems that I guessed right this time. There is no need to activate the backup plan. Yu and Daisuke also breathed a sigh of relief. He was not sure whether this soul spell would work. But to be honest, I really want to try to hit someone along the network cable. Forget it. It's better to have less trouble than more. He put away his soul crystal ball. He wanted to use this thing to locate the other party's location just now, but it seems that it is not necessary. The next step is to deal with this scum. To get information from him, we must first wake him up. The water tank next to him was suddenly opened, and water gushed out from the port below, gradually gathering into a large water ball in the air. Then a certain amount of magic power was injected into it, and a large number of fine ice crystals gradually appeared in the water bowl, and the temperature around it gradually dropped. There was originally a more gentle way to wake him up, but for this kind of person, Yu and Dazi felt that this ancient method was more suitable. As the water ball with ice crystals hit his face, the officer also woke up from his coma. Which bastard dared to mess with me? Don't you want to live? I'm a creature from outer space. Now I want to ask you some questions. I believe you will answer me truthfully. Yu and Dazi still did not remove his protective mist, so the officer saw that he still looked like a ghost and quickly shrank back. But when he heard that he could communicate, even with alien creatures, he was not afraid. What do you want to ask? He obeyed on the surface, but he was happy in his heart. Great. If it's alien creatures, it means there are new resources to plunder. As long as I report this matter, my official position will be promoted by at least 3 levels. His hand gradually stretched to his waist, and Yu and Dazi didn't care. Don't worry, you don't have to answer. I have my own way. Hearing this, he felt a little curious. He didn't need to answer, but knew the answer. It seemed very advanced. Scum, take my personality correction punch first. Yu and Dazi punched him in the face. Where is your supreme leader now? The fist hit him in the face, and the soul power penetrated the opponent's soul along the fist, and finally printed out a piece of paper. Yu and Dazi picked it up, and read the words on it, in the capital more than 400 kilometers north. Okay, next question. Help. The screams echoed in this small room, but the people outside didn't notice it at all, because Yu and Dazi had already blocked this area with his mental power in advance. A few minutes later, Yu and Dazi stood up with a bunch of small notes in his hand. Satisfied. Your answers are excellent. Congratulations. Your life is saved. Great. Great. The people on the ground also blessed him from the bottom of their hearts. He finally didn't have to be punched. But his next words pushed the officer into the abyss. Enough information. The next step is to correct your personality. Continue to take my personality correction punch. The screams continued, and Yu and Dazi's fists ruthlessly hammered out his wrong thoughts one by one, and at the same time, instilled him with the 24-character mantra of prosperity, strength, wisdom, civilization, and harmony. Okay, now he is a fair and friendly leader. No need to thank me. I never leave my name when doing good things. After saying that, Yu and Dazi clenched his fists again. There is one last thing. You have to clear the fact that you have seen me. The last punch hit him hard in the face, and the last thing was turned into a note and typed out, completely ending this inhumane torture. We should leave now. Yu and Dazi picked up the note on the ground. This time, there should be nothing left out. The surrounding space rippled, and Yu and Dazi reappeared on the spaceship, ending this short trip. Did you encounter anything down there? Zyadishan looked at his watch. Why did you go for nearly 20 minutes? He nodded. Yes, I tortured him for information, and taught that bastard a lesson, and finally solved it. Then Yu and Dazi took out the note. Here is what I gained from this trip. Go north first, and go directly to the headquarters opposite. As soon as he finished speaking, the first note turned into ashes, and then he took out the second note, and the main storage place for weapons is also in the headquarters opposite. It seems that there is no need to go anywhere else. Now the others also became excited. With the advantage of the location, it will be much more convenient to provide support and collect materials. Chumashin also became excited and pushed the joystick of the spaceship to start accelerating. I'll rush over now. Take this opportunity to tell everyone about the distribution of the opposite side's personnel. Yu and Dazi nodded and read out the words on the note. Everyone silently recorded it in their hearts. Finally, he opened a folded piece of paper. On it was the floor plan of the base. This was a good thing that he had to punch that guy 6 times to complete. Speaking of which, the environment near this capital is really bad. Zyadishan looked at the dry land on the ground. Those light-loving plants are dead. How do they live? According to the information I got, those people made weapons to plunder various energy materials from other planets, and then transported them back to a certain place to concentrate on emitting light to make food for those civilians. It is precisely because they control the lifeblood of everyone that they can use these people as the cheapest items to make more weapons. Yu and Dazi reported the news he heard to them, and everyone present was angry. No wonder those upper level people have never considered immigration at all. It turns out that it is for these extremely cheap labors. I dare to ask, is there anything in this world that is more useful than slaves who only need to be fed? As long as they are not starved to death, they can be made to do countless heavy work. Shizuka silently adjusted the speed of the spacecraft to a higher level again. Now he can't wait to see the situation of the other party. If the situation is right, he will choose to brainwash all the senior executives here so that they can become good leaders who serve everyone and lead Kaguya Star out of the current situation as soon as possible. Not long after, Shizuka suddenly shouted, "Deiji, is the opposite command center you are talking about that thing? The disc floating in the air?" "Yes, it is definitely that." Gian and Aji began to prepare magic. "One map for each person. I will send you down first. Don't worry, I guarantee to complete the mission." Everyone except Shizuka stood up, ready to enter the other side's base camp to achieve their respective goals and liberate the planet. By the way, Chapter 605 Harvest. Yu and as he handed them the copied map, "I will use space magic to send you directly to the base. Please be careful afterwards. Dazi and I will enter after parking the spaceship. Don't worry about us," Izuki said as he began to stabilize the spaceship. At this time, ripples began to appear around everyone, and everyone stopped their actions to avoid affecting Yu and Daz's spellcasting process. After a while, the space suddenly glowed with white light and sent them all away to the location Yu and Dazi had planned. "It seems that something here blocked my senses." Dazi opened his eyes. "I can only rely on Goose Walk to send them to a place closer to the destination. It doesn't matter. They are not ordinary people. They will find ways to solve crises when they encounter problems." Izuki pulled the spaceship up and prepared to park it in the air. When the spaceship was stable, Zyadishan also stood up. "Okay, let's set off now. I hope this operation will go smoothly. Wait, let me stabilize the invisibility magic on the spaceship first." Because the Dark Star cloak was lent to someone else, he was now the one who maintained the invisibility of the spaceship. "It seems that I have to take some time to study the materials of the spacecraft and make it more invisible." Zyadishan took out a notebook to record the shortcomings of the spacecraft. "I hope to get some knowledge about the relevant materials in their database. Yu and Dazi has also reserved a day's magic energy here. As long as they are not attacked, they will be invisible within a day." Then he released his magic again and sent the two to the location closer to the armory in his memory. The figures of the two appeared more than 10 centimeters above the ground, but they did not cause any danger. This is good news. If they accidentally experienced a space overlap, it means that other people may also be in danger. Now it seems that the possibility of everyone being killed is not high. Yu and as he looked up and looked around, this seems to be a corridor. Zyadishan, take out the map and take a look at the situation nearby. Chumashin nodded and followed behind Yu and Dazuki, comparing the location here with what he had seen before. "Found it. We are on the 5th floor of the air. Above us is where the anti-aircraft weapons are stored. You can go and take a look." Zyadishan closed the map. Dazi stretched out his hand to signal him to speak softly. "Don't conflict with the other party for now. Try not to be discovered. Don't worry. I still understand this rule." Chumashin signaled that he didn't have to worry at all. "Isn't it just a secret operation? It's a small matter. Who are you? Why are you here?" A human voice suddenly came from the front of them, scaring them. "Oh no, we've been discovered." Yu and Dazi looked up at them. It was a soldier who walked out of a corner in front. His eyes flashed a trace of fierceness. Since they were discovered, they had to fight quickly. As long as the other party has not notified the main force, there is still buffer time. The two people saw that the situation was not right and immediately reached their hands to their waists. "Don't move, or I will shoot." But before the two of them could touch the gun, they saw a grey shadow flashing past them. Yu and Dazi rushed towards them with all his strength, jumped up 3 meters in front of the two, and touched the slightly greasy face of the other party with his 2 hands. But now Yu and Dazi was in a state of high-speed movement. When he passed by them, the huge inertia directly turned their heads half a circle, and the sound of broken bones continued. It's a good thing they didn't notify the main force, otherwise it would be troublesome. Yu and Dazi clapped his hands, very satisfied with his performance. But at this time, Chumashin suddenly pointed to the side of Yu and Dazi. Before speaking, you'd better look to your right first. Hearing this, he was stunned for a moment, then turned his head to the right, and a lot of people were holding lunch boxes, looking at them dully. Yu and Dazi, I'm really unlucky. I just got here at lunchtime. The front is indeed the location leading to the weapons depot, but it is also the only way for the other party's staff to eat after get off work. Seeing this situation, he didn't care about anything else. In this case, then I won't be polite, come on. A few minutes later, Yu and Dazi stretched out his hand and burned the things on the ground. Finally it's over. Chumashin walked over to decompose the remaining garbage on the ground and then walked to the side of Yu and Dazi. He looked at the road behind him and asked worriedly, we may be exposed now. Do we need to change our plan? No, no one has seen us, and there is no surveillance here, so we are not exposed yet. Just continue to move forward according to the original plan. The alarm lights here did not sound, so they were still in a relatively safe place, and there was no need to hide deliberately. Compared with his own situation, Yu and Dazi was more worried about the other two groups of people. He wondered if they were doing well now. The two of them were worried about other things, and unknowingly they had walked to a big door. This was their destination, the weapons storage area. As long as most of their weapons were destroyed, the opponent's ability to resist would definitely drop by several levels, and the danger would be reduced a lot. Seeing their target appear, they temporarily put aside their worries and began to worry about what was in front of them. Dazi reached out and knocked on the door. This door is made of a special alloy. It is unlikely to be cracked by brute force. Do you have any good ideas? Zyadishin released his mental power to try to decompose the door. No, I have never seen this kind of metal. It will take a long time to analyze the structure. After a short silence, the two turned their eyes to the studio next to them. At this time, there seemed to be someone on duty inside. Do you think the people there will be able to open the door? Dazi poked Zyadishin. Maybe there is the technology we need. After a while, the door of the studio opened, and the person monitoring the data did not turn his head. It's not time to change shifts yet, right? It doesn't matter, we can bear the burden and help you work. An unfamiliar voice came from behind, but he didn't suspect anything. After all, there were too many people here, and he couldn't remember everyone's voice. Just as he was about to continue working, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in the back of his neck, and then he completely lost consciousness. The other staff members were not much better. Under this guy's overwhelming power, they were all knocked unconscious by him before they could react, without any chance to warn. The two of them grabbed a random person and used their mental power to search his soul and found out how to open the door here. I'm going to the armory. You check the scientific and technological information here. After Shizuka and the others send a signal, we'll go over and meet up. Yu and Dazi dragged a person out of here. His fingerprint and iris were needed to open the door, so he had to do it himself. Demushin found a place to sit comfortably and began to use the authority of these staff members to look through the information. After a few seconds, he excitedly took out the notebook. Great. Here are all optical materials, space folding and other technologies. A great harvest. Chapter 606 Harvest, Part 2. Space ripples flashed, and Tsuneyoshi's siblings and Aoki appeared near a huge warehouse. Is this the spaceship warehouse? Tsuneyoshi Yuma rubbed his fists. Where do you think they will use the precious metals? There are two possibilities. One is the outer shell of the spaceship, and the other is the props in their power room. These two places have the highest requirements for metals. Yuma's goal was very clear. Let's enter the spaceship first, and then explore slowly. There is no need to rush for the time being. The three of them walked forward a few steps, and suddenly two human figures in armor appeared in front of them. They were the gatekeepers appointed to guard here. Seeing unidentified creatures approaching here, the two immediately took out laser guns and pointed them at them. Don't move. Show your ID. What are they saying? Who can understand? Yumi glanced at the two people beside her, her eyes full of confusion. The two shook their heads tacitly. None of them had strong enough mental power to translate, so this group was in an awkward situation. You don't know anything? Oh, Forget it. We don't plan to negotiate with them normally anyway. Just do it. The two men pointed their guns at the three people in front of them. Listening to them say a lot of completely incomprehensible words, the two men were also a little confused. Could it be spies from other places? Or the untouchables below? Thinking of this, they clenched their guns tightly and picked up the walkie-talkie to report the abnormal situation here. Want to tip off? Tsuneo Shiyumi stretched out her 10 fingers and crossed them in front of her chest, puppet bound. With a few light sounds, the two suddenly felt that their bodies were tightened by something invisible, and they couldn't move at all. Damn, who are you? The two looked at their bodies in horror. What did you do to us? Puppet manipulation. Tsuneo Shiyumi's hands flew in the air like a butterfly, so fast that people couldn't see her movements clearly. Kingai was also a little surprised. He originally thought that this girl was a vase to be looked at. The two soldiers felt that their bodies were out of control and took out their door cards to open the door. Well done. Yumi nodded with satisfaction. Then take a good rest now, as a reward for you. As soon as the voice fell, the two people's eyes lost color, and now they have completely lost consciousness. As for when they can recover, it depends on when Yumi, the puppeteer, is happy and takes the initiative to release the control of their bodies. The three of them walked into the gate unimpeded. One of the gatekeepers followed them in, while the other gatekeeper was responsible for guarding the door here and warning them. After the three of them walked into the gate, the metal gate closed automatically. This is also a means set by the system to prevent enemy invasion. Hey, sister. Kingai suddenly pulled Yumi's clothes. What ability did you use just now? Yumi didn't want to answer this question, because she and Kingai were not familiar with each other, at least not to the point where she could tell him. But on second thought, this child seems to have a good relationship with Daisuke. If she makes a good impression on him, maybe she will progress faster. After hesitating for a few seconds, he turned his head and looked at Kingai. Are you talking about the move just now? It is the secret silver thread manipulation technique that only the heir of the family head can learn. After that, she stretched out her hand in front of Kingai, allowing him to see clearly that each of her fingers was wrapped with silver threads that were so fine that they were difficult to distinguish with the naked eye. These threads are the tools I used to manipulate the opponent just now. I inserted each thread into the opponent's joints and acupuncture points to compete for the initiative of the opponent's body. Then you saw a unique finger method to gently pluck the silver thread, and you can use the silver thread to manipulate a person to complete very complicated things. If the thread is inserted into the opponent's brain, it can temporarily suppress the opponent's consciousness and turn it into a puppet. After that, Yumi swung it casually, and a very tiny hole suddenly appeared on the steel wall next to her, which shows how strong the penetrating power of this thing is. Of course, I haven't been able to make a puppet with a person who retains consciousness like my mother, Yumi said with some regret. I also started practicing after the last incident. If I have more time, I should be able to do this. No, in fact, you are already very good. It is really admirable that you can do such a thing with an ordinary person's body. After seeing this trick, Kingai understood his shortcomings more clearly. He still needs to work harder. The three of them walked down the platform while talking and came to a spaceship. Kingai looked at the spaceship in front of him and was a little troubled. Now how do you determine whether this thing contains precious metals? Anyway, I have no knowledge in this area. Kingai stroked the outer shell of the spaceship. The cold touch looked no different from the steel door he had just touched. And it's strange here. Why is there not even a single living person in such a big place? Are they all on a mission? It's possible. Yu and Daisuke said that the people here have been plundering resources from outside. Maybe those people are exploring new planets. Yumi walked directly to the open door, and we don't have to worry about the shell. Even if there are precious metals in it, we can't extract them from it, let alone bring them back. Yes, the shell is too heavy and the content of precious metals is too little, so our initial goal is the power room of the spacecraft. Because Yu and Daisuke didn't get the news of the raw material factory from those people's heads before, they could only find trouble with the finished products and destroy the other party's weapons and transportation by the way. And if everyone acts together, the safety factor is guaranteed. At least if something goes wrong, they can provide support in a short time. After the three of them got on the ship and fumbled for a while, they found the power room of the spacecraft, and then Yasen stood up. Move aside, I'll break this thing open. Okay, be careful. Yuma took Kingayu to the back to avoid being accidentally injured by him. Yuma's arm muscles bulged, and he tore a piece of metal plate with all his strength, but after a while, there was no sign of damage to the metal cover. Well, how about letting me try? Kingayu suddenly stepped forward. He felt very tired when he saw that this guy's teeth were about to break. Yuma let go of his hand and looked at him with disdain. With your weak body, what can you do? As soon as the voice fell, Kingayu tore open the metal cover with one hand. So the structure inside is like this. It looks so complicated. Yumi patted Yuma's shoulder helplessly. It seems that you have to change your arrogant habit. Yes. Tsuneyoshi Yuma gritted his teeth in anger. Why is any of them stronger than him? Hasn't he been strengthened several times? Yumi stood in front of the integrated circuit and used the ring on her finger to detect whether there is a substance they need. Looking at the 3-color light on the ring, she smiled happily. There is more than one kind of precious metal here. Start working. Remember to put it back after dismantling it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 607 Harvest, Part 3. Shizuka, Lisa Nayu, Ziozi and the cloak appeared in a wooden corridor, which looked like medieval Japan. Shizuka was a little emotional about this. I didn't expect that the aesthetics of this world are similar to ours. It seems that the definition of beauty is similar. Until now, there are still many people who like this kind of architecture, and Shizuka is one of them. Let's not talk about this. Lisa Nayu took out his map. Let's go to the leader of the opposite side first. Negotiate early and finish work early. After all, the other two groups of personnel will have to wait for their signal before they start together, so the speed of their actions will directly determine when today's work will end. At this moment, a mechanical eye on the wall behind slowly opened, and he had discovered the two uninvited guests. Strange, they shouldn't be from our army. Could it be that the untouchables below sneaked up? Thinking of this, he immediately notified his guard robot. Bring them to me. I want to question them. I want to see which bastard dares to draw the map of this palace and hand it over to these unknown outsiders. Countless exits suddenly appeared on the ground and walls nearby, and mechanical guards in robes slid out one after another and quickly approached them. Found the location. Lisa Nayu pointed to a place on the map. We are here now. According to the instructions on the map, we should go back now. Shizuka also confirmed the surrounding environment and then followed Lisa Nayu to the back. According to his information, the so-called Lord Abdul seems to have never left the palace and doesn't seem to have eaten much. Lisa Nayu said as he walked. From this point of view, he should not be an ordinary person, right? Otherwise, how could he have the strength to rule here for so long? Shizuka didn't care much. It doesn't matter if you can beat him, just ripple. If you can't beat him, just run away. Can he still force us to stay? After all, they have the cloak of Yu and Dazi in their hands, and it is very troublesome to deal with space-related treasures. At least there is no similar means to stabilize the space here. That's right. Hush, someone is coming. Lisa Nayu suddenly stopped and looked forward vigilantly. Come out, I have found you. As a warlock, he has a very keen premonition of crisis. At least at this time, he will definitely choose to trust his intuition. Sure enough, there was a sliding sound in front of them, and then a large number of people wearing robes and runes appeared in front of them. Have we been discovered? As expected, Shizuka stood in front of them. We hope to negotiate with your leader. Unfortunately, these robots have no souls, so they did not understand the simultaneous interpretation of the cloak. They raised their hands and sent an energy shock to them. The two reacted very quickly and flashed into the gap of the laser. It seems that the other party refused to negotiate. Then we have to fight back. The greedy blade appeared in Shizuka's hand, and he cut through the energy shock with one sword and killed the other party. Lisa Nayu also took out his family heirloom sword, Teizu and Shankingshu. As soon as he finished speaking, a green light covered his whole body. Several energy shocks came, but the green light was like a body armor, bouncing all their attacks aside, leaving himself unscathed. Then he joined the battle. We will go directly to the opponent's base camp now, and it will take at most 5 minutes to get there. At this time, Shizuka had already rushed into the enemy's crowd and turned on the mowing mode, killing countless guards along the way, intending to rush to the leader's bedroom. But at this moment, he suddenly stopped. No. These guards don't seem to be human. He just killed a lot of guards, but he didn't receive any dark energy feedback. As long as it is a living thing, it is impossible to have no negative emotions. Because any creature will instinctively produce negative psychology such as fear and despair after seeing its companions being slaughtered. But no matter how many guards he killed, he didn't get any negative emotions called fear from them. It can only be said that these things are not even living things. Really? Let me see. Shizuka also opened a guard with a sword and then found that there was a faint flash of lightning at the break. I originally thought these were zombies or something, but they turned out to be robots. What a pity. Then he took off the talisman from the guard, but the symbols on this thing seemed quite novel. I'll take it first. Shizuka was a little anxious. Don't waste time now. Facing robots, I can't replenish dark energy at any time, and my continuous combat effectiveness will drop a lot. Shizuka nodded, and then threw 2 talismans on him. This is the holy armor and the wind talisman. After blessing you, it should be able to reduce the consumption rate of your dark energy. Then he also pasted 2 talismans on himself, and the speed of the 2 people suddenly soared a lot, and began to quickly approach the palace. Shizuka was also harvesting the talisman below at a high speed. The materials used to make these things were also quite strange, and the more the better. Seeing that his guards were so useless, Diablo had to command through the network, everyone retreat, let this king come to entertain them personally. Since these things can't hurt them, there is no need to waste resources. It takes a lot of time and metal to make a guard. After all, people outside thought that these guards were human, so things like making mechanical guards could only be done secretly, and of course he felt heartbroken. It seems that they retreated in the face of difficulties. Shizuka was a little happy when he saw this. In this case, the leader of the other party still has some brains. The 2 of them quickened their pace again and arrived in front of Diablo's palace without any obstacles along the way. The 2 looked at each other, tacitly opened the door and walked in. After entering the palace, there was a platform, and the leader of the other party was opposite the lotus pond. The lake in the middle made Shizuka a little troubled. The distance in the middle is too far. If we want to fight them, we are at a disadvantage. Shizuka gestured to him to rest assured. It's okay. I remember that His cloak has the ability to fly, so this distance is no problem. Compared with the distance problem between the 2, what they are more troubled about is actually the size of the other party. The other party is indeed not an ordinary person. Judging from the shadow, the other party is at least more than 10 meters tall. With such a big body, it should be difficult to kill it completely, right? Just when they were having a headache, the other party took the lead in asking in an electronically synthesized voice after translation, "Who are you 2? I don't think my people have this kind of power." Shizuka stepped forward. His momentum was not weak at all. "We too are from Earth. Now please discuss with us the signing of a peace treaty." He kept a hand this time and did not mention Yu and Dazi and the others, so as not to increase the difficulty of the other party's action. Hearing this, the other party suddenly started laughing wildly. "Ha ha ha, peace. You low-level civilization, are you qualified to talk about peace with me?" As soon as the voice fell, the surrounding pool water began to boil, and it seemed that there was a beast in the pool, which began to gradually wake up. Chapter 608 The original appearance. The so-called peace is based on the premise that both sides are equal in strength. The leader's laughter behind the screen was still rampant, "But I don't see that you have the strength." Countless mechanical beaks suddenly emerged from the bottom of the lake, all staring at the 2 people below with a fierce look in their electronic eyes. "Really? I hope you won't regret it." The greed blade appeared in Shizuka's hand again, and at the same time, he flicked the corner of his clothes, and the dark star cloak appeared on his body. Shizuka also picked up the Daoxan sword. "We will soon let you know that our Earth has the strength." The surrounding mechanical beaks suddenly bit down, and the two of them quickly jumped up, stepped on the mechanical extension arm, and began to rush towards the leader behind the curtain. When the two reached the highest point of the extension arm, Shizuka stretched out his hand to Lee Zinayu behind him. "Hold me tight." "Yeah." Lee Zinayu stretched out his hand and held Shizuka tightly, and the Dark Star Cloak also began to exert its power, bringing the two people up to the sky. The cloak led them to dodge left and right in the air and the nearby mechanical beaks that were protecting them from rushing over all missed, and there was no way to stop them from approaching. The leader was also a little surprised when he saw that they could fly suddenly. "What is this? It actually has the same effect as a spaceship, which is really interesting." "Huh, if you are surprised, then you are too ignorant," Shizuka said, while quickly closing the distance between him and the other party. He did not choose to teleport over, although it would be faster, but it would directly expose a trump card for their escape. And as he also said that in this operation, the first thing to do is to ensure their own safety, and there is no need to use the escape trick in the charge. "It's almost there," Shizuka shouted to Lee Zinayu. "Let's work together to break the curtain in front of him." The two of them held their swords at the same time and swung their swords at the same time when they were about to hit the curtain. "Show me your true face now." Crack. Deoxyden sword and greedy blade cut across on the mechanical curtain, and Shizuka and Lee Zinayu rushed into the interior without any hindrance. Now, this place that has never been visited by anyone in the long years finally has human footprints again. But what they didn't expect was that there was nothing behind the screen, including the huge monster they imagined. "What's going on? Why is there nothing here?" Lee Zinayu held his sword, feeling a little cold in his heart. "Then what is the phantom I saw on the curtain just now?" Shizuka also tightened his sword. He could feel that there was a will of destruction here, but he couldn't find its body. "Be careful, he should be nearby." Shizuka blocked Lee Zinayu behind him. "Let's try to find him first." Before he finished speaking, a hole suddenly opened under their feet. It was a trap that the leader had set up long ago. Shizuka and Lee Zinayu did not react, but the Dark Star Cloak maintained its flying state, which allowed them to escape. "Damn guy, where is he?" Shizuka pulled Lee Zinayu. "Let me find him. I must beat him into an idiot to relieve my hatred." Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, there were bursts of clicks around him, as if something was lifted up. "Oh my god, this is really a big deal." Shizuka and Lee Zinayu saw clearly that there were gun muzzles on the surrounding walls. "Dark Star Cloak, take us away from here quickly." Now Shizuka can only hope for this magic device. The hem of the cloak suddenly stretched out, covering the two of them, ready to withstand this wave of gunfire. Although it is not very intelligent, it can also feel that there is nothing here that can break its defense, so it has no intention of escaping for the time being. And now it has finally come to his side. How can it return empty-handed? At least we have to know what this bastard looks like. Endless light poured on the cloak, but this little firepower was like drizzle, and it could not cause any substantial damage at all. Thinking of this, Cloak used the little spirit he had finally recovered to whisper in Shizuka's ear. "Find it. Find him? That's right. These attacks should have no effect on Cloak. You can give it a try." Shizuka immediately followed his intuition and flew away. "I seem to be able to feel another will here. Maybe that is his body." The other party is an artificial intelligence that represents destruction, and this pure condensation of desire has a natural attraction to Shizuka. Shizuka followed his intuition all the way and jumped directly into the lake below. "It gives me the feeling that it is here." "What? How did you find me?" There was indeed a mechanical head below, and the mechanical display showed an incredible look. Shizuka smiled. "It turns out that the leader of Kaguya is a robot. No wonder so many machines can be started at the same time." Seeing that his body has been exposed, the surrounding mechanical beaks attacked him like crazy, and he must hold this guy here. He saw that the blade in this child's hand can easily break steel, and he can't resist a sword. Damn it, there's no way to return to the main body now. The robot also knew that it was in a bad situation now. The main body can't move without ever, so we can only use these junks to hold them back. There were more and more mechanical sharp mouths around, and the extended arms were also densely packed, making it difficult for them to see the front. He and Lee Nayu waved their swords impatiently. Damn it, we will definitely not be able to catch up at this rate. You block them for a while. I have a way to deal with these things directly. Lee Nayu handed the task of defense to Shizuka and reached for the talisman bag. This talisman is very rare in modern times, and the cost of making it is not small. Fortunately, I still have a few left here, otherwise I really don't want to use it here. Lee Nayu put a blue talisman paper on the Deoxuan sword, Shanking secret method, Kangyuan water control talisman. Spiritual power flowed into the blue talisman, as if it was free of charge, and the white lines on the top gradually turned blue, and then began to melt into the water. Shizuka cut off the nearby extension arm with a sword. Are you done? If we continue like this, we will be tied up by these ghosts. Talisman, rise. At the moment when the blue talisman paper completely melted into the water, Lee Nayu opened his eyes, took his Deoxuan sword, and swung it vigorously, and the surrounding lake water boiled at this moment. With Lee Nayu as a center, the surrounding lake water cracked into a circular blank area, and began to spread far and wide. The mechanical beacon had seemed to be short-circuited. The inside of the machine made a hissing sound, and then fell to the dry ground, losing its vitality. The water was still spreading outward, but when all the water drops were driven onto the wall, the mechanical head was still not seen. It's really abominable. I paid such a high price and let that guy run away. Shizuka flew to the shore and put Lee Nayu down. Lee Nayu also lifted the spell with some regret. Yes, and it also wasted such a precious Kangyuan water control talisman of mine. Although I can draw it, the materials are hard to find. Chapter 609 Mysterious Space. Feeling a little sad for his talisman, Lee Nayu put his Deoxuan sword back into the scabbard. This is considered to be resolved. What should we do now? Let's discuss it with them first, and tell them what's going on here. Shizuka took out a special talisman and started talking. This is the sound transmission talisman that Lee Nayu gave them to facilitate everyone to exchange information. This kind of thing can ignore most of the means of isolating communication, and it is silent communication, which is much more convenient than a walkie-talkie. Yu and Daisuke, we failed here. The leader doesn't want to negotiate, and there is no way to brainwash him. What? Even you can't brainwash him? Is he a superpower? Yu and Daisuke also became interested. If the other party has a superpower, it will be a lot more fun. That's not the case. Shizuka picked up a section of the mechanical arm. The leader is a robot, so my dark energy can't affect it. After hearing that the other party is a robot, he began to feel a headache. Why did he encounter this troublesome situation? Forget it, I have some troubles here for the time being, so let's do this for now. Yu and Daisuke touched the nearby wall. You guys should find a way to plunder some benefits now. Both of them are robbers, and now they have nothing to do, so they might as well be robbers together. Okay, let's talk about it when we gather together later. Shizuka looked at Lee Nayu. He can just collect some strange talismans here. At this time, Lee Nayu was tearing off the talismans on the heads of those robots one by one, preparing to study these patterns. His intuition told him that the origin of these talismans was not that simple, and it seemed to be very similar to something he had seen in an ancient book. And the talisman paper is also not an ordinary thing. It can carry very advanced talismans, which are all treasures. After hanging up the communication, Shizuka began to search the area with Lee Nayu, intending to find the old thing first. Tell me directly if you find anything. The dark energy on that robot is very strong. Eating it will be very helpful to me. After that, Shizuka took Lee Nayu to where there were many robots. After all, there was a talisman on the head of each robot. Yu and Daisuke hung up the call and then began to worry about this wall. He always felt that something was wrong here. According to the map, the space here seems to be a bit narrow. Yu and Daisuke looked at the map, and the blank space at the back is a bit too large. After a careful comparison, Yu and Daisuke took back his map. It seems that there is something behind this wall that I don't want others to know. The warehouse on the map should be on par with the database next to it, but it seems to be much smaller than the database. This is the only place that does not match the map. What should I do if I want to get through? Yu and Daisuke touched his chin and thought, should I just use my supernatural powers to break through this place? but he quickly rejected the idea. No, if I do this, it will be a waste of time and energy. And if I force my way through the wall, the sound it makes is unpredictable, and my mental power can't completely block the sound transmitted through the wall. His mental power was still blocked by the wall, and he couldn't directly detect the situation inside, which made him even more curious about what was inside the wall. How about a gamble? Yu and Dazzy finally decided to take a risk. Just use the law of space to teleport in. Even if the estimate is wrong and the steel is squeezed, because of the overlapping space, as long as I buff myself, I don't have to worry about being squeezed to death by this wall. Thinking of this, Yu and Dazzy took out the Archangel's staff, Earth Body, Physical Sublimation, Metal Skeleton, Petrified Skin. The 4 lights fell on him, and now his self-confidence was bursting. Very good. This way even if I'm really squeezed, I can hold on until I teleport back. As soon as the voice fell, a ripple appeared around Yu and Dazzy, and then his figure disappeared in the arsenal. When he opened his eyes again, the expected squeezing feeling did not come, and now the space around him was so large that it was beyond his imagination. It seems that the gamble was right. Yu and Dazzy looked up at the giant machine above, and the corners of his mouth could not help but bend. There is indeed a problem here. Thinking of this, Yu and Dazzy decided to study this huge machine carefully. It is a spherical machine about 8 meters long. The dust on this machine is a bit thick. Dazzy reached out and touched the machine. With such a thick layer of dust, no one has touched it for at least decades, right? Then he released his mental power and began to explore the machine, but it hasn't rusted for so long. The material is really good. Overall, the hardness is okay. At this moment, Old Manling suddenly said, "There are some good things in it. Find a way to take it out." Oh, if something can be called good by someone as picky as you, then of course I can't miss it. While searching for the gaps in the machine with his mental power, Yu and Dazzy asked him, "Old man, are there any good things in it?" Yes, there are many excellent magic metal parts in it that can be used to modify your beloved weapon. The first sentence of the soul-eating monument successfully captured Yu and Dazzy's heart, making him search for gaps even harder. And more importantly, it's the core of destruction inside. Old Manling also sighed. That's a core composed entirely of destructive energy. I swear, this is definitely the best material for making destructive weapons that you have come into contact with now, and it will be difficult for you to encounter better materials in the future. Crack. Before the old man finished speaking, Yu and Dazzy pried off a piece of iron plate at once, and the speed was so fast that it was jaw-dropping. If you had said it earlier, maybe I could have found its weakness faster. Yu and Dazzy went straight in through the gap. The old man sighed. I say that your character of not getting up early without profit is really like our style in the past. Thank you. Yu and Dazzy exchanged a few polite words with the old man, and then got down to business. After he worked hard to get into the machine, he felt a little dizzy looking at the many parts. I'm not going too far. What are the things I need for the modification now? Let me see. Let's dismantle this area first. The delicate energy transmission tube there must be taken away. Remember to be careful. The soul-devouring monument marked various places. These are all precision parts. Be sure to handle them with care when disassembling them. Don't worry. How could I joke about my own weapons? Yu and Dazzy smiled and stretched out his evil little hand to this war machine. 10 minutes later, he came down with a pile of parts and then got into it again. After a while, he found the way through his mental power and went directly to take down the treasure heart of destruction inside. I didn't expect that a palm-sized crystal stone is the core of this machine, Yu and Dazzy said while welding the gap that had just been torn. Then he looked at the parts all over the floor. Okay, old manling, now it's your turn to guide me. Hurry up and work. Chapter 610 Doraemon arrives at the battlefield. A few hours passed, and light appeared on the surface of Kaguya again. Nobita and his friends finally arrived at the battlefield in the Doraemon hot air balloon. Is this Kaguya? Nobita looked at the stars covered by grey smoke below. You can't see what's going on inside from the outside. Doraemon pointed to the satellite next to it. Is this the satellite they said before, used to test weapons? Everyone silently despised them in their hearts. They actually took their own satellite as an opportunity. I don't know what they were thinking. I suddenly feel that the other party is not very smart. Nobita suddenly straightened his chest and said, "After all, even I know that the moon is very important to the earth." The people around nodded in agreement. If that's the case, the other party's IQ is indeed worrying. Even Nobita can't compare to it. Okay, don't think they are too simple. After all, they are a high-level civilization. Doraemon quickly stopped this trend. Now we are about to enter Kaguya. Everyone get ready for landing. TSK, it's just landing. What preparations are needed? Fat Tiger was dismissive of his reminder and didn't take it seriously at all. But he was only handsome for 3 seconds, and suddenly he floated up. Hey, what's going on? Doraemon quickly fastened his seatbelt. Now we are almost in a state of weightlessness caused by free fall. Everyone find something to fix yourself so as not to fly out. Amid a series of screams, Nobita and his friends landed safely near the capital of Kaguya Star. Fat Tiger was the first to come out of the upper portal, and then he held the edge of the circular warehouse and vomited. Just now, he was spinning in the air for a full 5 minutes. If Mozo hadn't repeatedly warned him not to vomit on their escape pod, the cabin would definitely be uninhabitable. After vomiting, Fat Tiger looked at the blue fat man weakly. "Doraemon, how can your future technology not prevent weightlessness? I'm about to faint." "That's because the energy of the hot air balloon is almost used up, so I naturally have to save a little." Doraemon put the cleaned spaceship back into his pocket. As a robot cat with only pursuits and dreams, he would never allow such filthy things to enter his treasure bag. "Okay, don't worry about these little things." The blue fat man took out a telescope and handed it to the people around him. "It's better to use this prop to find their location now." "Doraemon, do you think they are in there?" Nobita suddenly pointed to the sky, and a disc was floating in the distance. Everyone silently handed the telescope back to Doraemon. Such a exaggerated building was just short of writing "The leader lives here" on the wall. "Okay, now we have found the target, so let's go and save Luke at Tsukino and the others." Doraemon took out the bamboo dragonfly and the transparent cloak and handed them to everyone and began to approach the building in the sky quickly. "By the way, our luck is really good." Sunia still didn't believe it. It turned out that we landed near the destination in an instant. Fat Tiger also agreed. "Yes, and the other party hasn't discovered us yet. Their surveillance technology is really poor." Everyone present nodded and then lowered the level of Kaguya in their hearts. At this time, in the central control room, Izuki was thinking, "I think the opening of this optical coating should be improved." The person who was originally responsible for monitoring was lying on his laboratory table. The screen in front showed that there was an unidentified flying object approaching, but all the alarms were turned off by Izuki, who needed to be quiet. Several people flew in from the exit of the spaceship below. There was no obstruction on the way. Things went smoothly beyond their expectations. Strange, why is there not even one person here? Ziofu felt something was wrong. There won't be any traps here. Doraemon shook his head uncertainly. It shouldn't be. If they really want to ambush, it would be the best time when we approach. At that time, we were in a state of rapid descent, and there was no way to avoid the missiles on the ground. They would never miss that opportunity. His words were once again recognized by everyone, so they put aside their concerns and continued to move forward. At this time, there was only a pile of scrap metal that was dismantled into parts by Yu and Daisy in the anti-aircraft weapons warehouse, and all the automatic anti-aircraft weapons were out of order. And most importantly, the news that should have been reported to Diablo was stopped by Izuki. Otherwise, how could the other party not react without any protection when landing so close to the main brain of Kaguya Star? The reason why they came here so smoothly was largely because someone in front of them had dealt with most of the things that might cause danger. After all, this is an advanced civilization, and it is an advanced civilization with a biased technology tree. If it is fully fired, it is at least not something that the props in Doraemon's hands can handle. It is precisely because of this that Doraemon has the opportunity to take advantage of the loophole and break into the planet in a way that is extremely provocative to the sovereignty of the other party. The group flew to the storage room of the spacecraft and landed on the ground and began to observe the surroundings. Strange, why haven't we seen anyone so far? I don't know, but it's good like this. It's just in our favor. Doraemon pulled everyone forward together. It seems that the guards of the base are lax at the moment. It should be, because no one has invaded for too long, and the ordinary people below can't come here. Mozo said his guess. Now the soldiers should be mining energy and occupying new planets everywhere, so there are so few people left behind. Everyone walked to the gate with a swagger. There was only one person guarding the gate, and the surrounding area was so empty that it was unbelievable. My god, such a large spaceship warehouse, only one person is guarding it? The people here are too poor in defense. Doraemon quietly took out a paralysis gun and handed it to Nobita. Here, this is what you are best at. I believe you can do it. Don't worry, it's only a distance of 60 or 70 meters. It's a piece of cake for me. Nobita took Doraemon's tranquilizer gun with full confidence. After a while, a light blue beam hit the gatekeeper accurately, and the gatekeeper, who was originally under control, completely lost consciousness. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, took off their transparent cloaks, and walked to the front of the gate. How do we get through now? There seems to be a code here. Don't worry, we need it for things like this. The piercing ring. Doraemon took out a metal ring and placed it in front of the gate. As soon as they walked in, Tsunayoshi and Yumi had already received the news. My puppet seemed to have been attacked by something just now. Let's be careful and prepare to retreat and meet up with everyone. Yuma also walked out. It was perfect to use the puppet to explore the way. That's right, the harvest is enough for now. Yumi glanced at the ring on her hand and nodded with satisfaction. I don't know how many troops the other side has sent. We are short of manpower and cannot deal with the siege. To be on the safe side, it's better to leave here first. Chapter 611 Rescue Operation. Nobita and the others walked smoothly to the junction of the lower and upper levels of the Kaguya base, but there was no way up. Tsunayo was a little troubled. We have searched the lower level thoroughly, and now it seems that the only way to find Luca and the others is to go up. Others also agreed, but the problem is that we don't seem to have a way to go up. Doraemon, do you still have the piercing ring? The blue fat man shook his head. No, I was too nervous when I saw people just now, so I forgot it. Just now when they came in from the hatch of the spacecraft, they saw another guard who was forced to wait at the door, which scared them so much that they ran away without even having time to stop and retrieve their prop piercing ring. What should we do? Do we have to go back and get the props again? Isn't this too risky? Fat Tiger suddenly thought. I wonder how Yuan and the others are doing. Can we find a way to contact them? Forget it. Although they have built a spaceship, they can't get there so quickly without space technology. Doraemon said with a hint of joy of victory and helplessness. Instead of relying on them, it is better to find a way to deal with the situation here ourselves. Nobita also agreed. Well said. We must prove to Yu and Eiji and the others that, although we are just ordinary people, we can do better than them with superpowers. As soon as the voice fell, Yumi Tsunayoshi's voice came from behind. Can you say what you just said again? I don't think I heard it clearly. Who? Doraemon immediately looked back nervously. In TV dramas, the people who usually say this are villains. But Nobita, as a classmate, recognized Yumi's voice and was very surprised. Tsunayoshi, classmate? Why are you here? Need I tell you? Of course, Deiji invited us here. The three figures finally appeared in front of them. Tsunayoshi Yuma, Tsunayoshi Yumi. Everyone present was stunned. Are you also superpowers? Why didn't you and Deiji tell us about this? Because my brother said it's not necessary, and there's no benefit in telling you. King Gaio said as he walked to the center of the circular platform. It's almost time for us to go up and meet them. Let's solve the things here as soon as possible and then slowly plunder. As he spoke, King Gaio half crouched, then exerted force with his legs, and the whole person rushed into the sky like a rocket and directly penetrated the bottom elevator of the superstructure. This is the advantage of King Gaio as a physical cultivator. There is no need to think about any strategy, just rush forward. Okay, the road is open, let's go to. Yasun also stood where King Gaio stood just now and stretched out his hand to Yumi. We will go up first, you guys figure it out. Then Yasun picked up his master Yumi and jumped up, flying into the big hole that King Gaio had just broken. Is this a superpower? The people below were stunned. It seems that Yu and Daisy didn't let us come for a reason. The others put on the bamboo dragonflies given to them by Doraemon with some disappointment. Let's go. It seems that we can only try not to cause trouble for them. Everyone followed Doraemon in front and flew into the cave. The 3 people who arrived first were waiting for everyone there. Our current destination is to go directly to the prison cell. Kingayu took out a map. The prison cell happens to be on the lower level. Let's go. The other 2 nodded to show that they had no objection, and then Kingayu took the lead and set off. Why are you still standing there? Tsuneyoshi and his brother looked at the 4 people who were still standing there. Shizuka didn't come. We too will cover you, so that you won't get into danger if you walk behind. The 4 people were stunned for a moment, and then a warm feeling surged in their hearts, and they quickly followed behind Kingayu. It seems that they are pretty good people. Fat Tiger smiled. If I had superpowers, I would definitely protect you. The 2 people next to him curled their lips at the same time. Would we believe your nonsense? It's good enough that you don't come to trouble us normally. Yasun and Yumi looked at each other and quickly followed behind everyone while constantly alert to the situation nearby. The lower floor had been cleaned by them so they could walk boldly, but the upper floor was a strange place for them, so they naturally couldn't just stroll around here like a walk. Fortunately, all the mechanical guards here were transferred to deal with Shizuka and others, so they didn't encounter any trouble along the way. But when they passed a corner, a ball on the wall suddenly opened, revealing an electronic eye. Looking at their backs as they went away, the spherical eyes showed an angry expression. Who are these people? Why do they also have a map here? Wait, that direction. Are they going to the dungeon? No, there is my flesh and blood. I must not give it back to them. The mechanical eyes slowly closed, and the main body, who was still avoiding Shizuka's pursuit, also opened a nearby secret passage, intending to go directly to the dungeon. At least one must be left behind. I have been waiting here for thousands of years. Now that my flesh and blood have returned, I must not let go. The mechanical head shouted and rushed to the secret passage. When I have my flesh and blood again, I will blow you all into ashes. He originally wanted to wait until the fleet returned, and then use the name of Diablo to command the fleet to attack the Earth with destructive weapons. In this way, he would not lose his ruling power, and he could also satisfy his desire to destroy the stars. Why not? But what he didn't expect was that those Earthlings were so stubborn. Before the order was passed from the headquarters, it was intercepted by the 2 people of Yu and Dazi who rushed to the base. At this time, he didn't know that his order had been intercepted. He was still looking forward to the fleet's return and giving them a surprise. In this way, Kingayu and his companions walked unimpeded on the road and went straight into the dungeon. There was not even a guard on this road. The general in armor had been thrown in not long ago, and he hadn't even woken up yet, but the rescue team had already arrived. Luca. Nobita ran to the cell as soon as he entered the door. I'm so glad you're okay. Tsukino Luca was a little confused at this time. Nobita? How did you get here so soon? But we were only captured for a short while. It's all thanks to them. Nobita pointed to the people behind him. It was everyone's credit to get here. Oh, by the way, this thing is yours, right? Yumi took out a golden circle from her space ring, which was Doraemon's piercing ring. The blue fat man quickly took it over. That's right. It turns out that my props were picked up by you. What a coincidence. Doraemon stuck the piercing ring on the wall of the prison, and a dark hole appeared in the circle. The piercing ring took effect. Luca was about to bend down and get out, but suddenly saw the general lying down. Should he take him out? At this moment, Kingayu's wild instinct told him that something malicious was approaching quickly. Without thinking too much, he pushed Tsuneyoshi Yumi away and then used his body to block the attacking hidden weapon. Chapter 612 Rescue Failure. Kingayu was hit by the hidden weapon and flew a short distance. He landed heavily on the steps at the door. He covered his chest with his hands, and blood gradually seeped out from between his fingers. Haha, we meet again, people from Earth. How about this gift? A huge round machine appeared above everyone's head. You are not dead. After being hit by a special bullet, you have a strong vitality. You bastard. You dared to aim at my sister just now. I must tear you apart today. Yaozen jumped up, and his bone spurs began to extend. As a result, the robot did not take him seriously. Instead, it smiled at him and said, You misunderstood. I was not the one who shot just now." As soon as the voice fell, another thick mechanical hand blocked in front of him and slapped Yaozin back to the ground. The robot laughed even more wildly. "How could I be equipped with such a low-level thing? This is the weapon of the guard robot in the prison." The wall behind the round machine was finally fully opened. This robot responsible for guarding the prison showed its edge for the first time in a long time. "Damn it." Yumi gritted her teeth. "It's not in the information we got from outside. We really miscalculated. Just fight it slowly. I'll take these Esper people and leave first." The metal wires around the circular machine stretched out to Luca and others below. "Damn it, don't even think about it." Yaozin stood up from the ground. Although the slap just now was very powerful, it didn't hurt him. The robot's scanning mirror looked at the living people below. Target locked, full fire. All the mechanisms around it were opened, and the black muzzle would not leave a dead corner on the floor. Doraemon immediately reached into his pocket and took out the reflective cloak. "This thing is not good. It has a poor defense effect against physical attacks." He threw the cloak aside and then took out a round sphere. "Yes, that's it. Open it now." At this critical moment, an invisible barrier blocked them, and at the same time, a rain of bullets poured down. The bullet hit the barrier, but not even a white mark was left. Doraemon breathed a sigh of relief. "Finally I made it." This barrier is a special protective shield for future police. Attacks of this level cannot break its defense. Although their lives were saved, Luke, Tsukino and Al were taken away by the mechanical tentacles, and they had no way to stop them. "Doraemon, is there really no way?" Nobita looked at the robot unwillingly as it went away. He couldn't swallow this breath. "Really not." Doraemon shook his head. "Other props can't withstand such a strong attack, and if I move casually, it's hard for me to ensure that everyone is in the barrier. After all, the range of this thing is only about 3 meters, and 6 people standing there are already crowded enough. He doesn't think that everyone present has such a good tacit understanding. Why don't I try it?" Tsuneo Shiyumi suddenly stretched out her hand. Silk thread cut. The silver thread on her hand spread into the air with the movement of Yumi's fingers and wrapped around Diablo, who was about to leave. Because the silk thread was too thin, the bullets were easily cut in half as soon as they touched the silk thread and could not pose a threat to her. "No, miss." Yuma quickly controlled her body to spread bone spurs. "Your silk thread can only be used to control people. If it is used to intercept machines, it will cut your hands into many pieces. I know better than you." Yumi did not retreat at all, so I plan to cut off his tentacles, as long as I can save the people. As long as she can make good use of the different contact areas between the two, it will not be too difficult to cut off these metals without hurting herself. Yuma also stopped her actions after hearing this. Although the main purpose of their coming this time was to rob things, it did not mean that he could watch others die indifferently. "Well, be careful and don't do anything that I can't report." Tsuneo Shiyuma retracted her bone spurs and quietly watched the silk thread still flying upwards. I hope that, as she said, she won't accidentally cut off her hands. With Tsuneo Shiyuma's efforts, the silk thread accurately pierced the mechanical tentacles in the air. Then she pulled a little harder, and several tentacles were successfully cut off. The people below were delighted. There was hope. "Don't come to make trouble for me." Diablo also noticed this and ordered, "Stop shooting. Go over and tear them apart." The guard robot agreed, and its mountain-like body began to slowly move towards the crowd, and everyone was desperate. The size of this robot was really too huge. "You dared to shoot me with a bullet just now." As soon as the voice fell, another body tens of meters high blocked his fist. "I must tear you apart today." King Gaiu has also lifted his own restrictions, completely stimulated his demon power, and his body has become a little bigger than the Bull Demon King at the beginning. After all, the Bull Demon King at his peak was just a gatekeeper of their realm, and King Gaiu really stepped into this world. However, after becoming bigger, the injury on his chest looked even more terrible, and everyone couldn't help feeling a little heartbroken after seeing it. "No." Yumi took back the silver thread. "Under their battle, I can't control the silver thread to attack at all." The mechanical guard was merciless and punched the wound on King Gaiu's left chest. But to his surprise, the hardness of the opponent's chest was much higher than he expected. "Are you surprised?" Why didn't it hit my heart? Kingayu grabbed its head with both hands, because your first shot just now only penetrated my skin. Then he exerted force with both hands, and threw the robot, which was about 30 meters tall, over his shoulder. Although the power of this fist is much greater than that of a bullet, the power it transmits is too dispersed compared to a bullet. And Kingayu was not on guard at the time, so he was shot away by that not so strong shot. If he always stimulated his demon power to protect his body, then the bullet would not even be qualified to make him move a few steps, not to mention him in a gigantic state, after wearing the infinity ring. The robot was thrown to the ground, and the whole building shook, and even Yu and Daisy and others above felt the vibration. It seems that those people have made quite a commotion. Yu and Daisy stood up. The old man's modified Gatling gun is almost done. Let's speed up the progress. Maybe we can catch up and join in the fun later. Demushan next to him also noticed the change and could only put down the 5th notebook in his hand. I can't remember these for now. The rest will be digested slowly after we go back. After a while, Kingayu twisted off the head of the robot that had lost its ability to resist and took it as his trophy. Finally it's over. Kingayu's body gradually returned to its normal size. Come to think of it, that guy's fist really hurts. After all, it was hit on the wound. Although the injury was not too serious, the pain was unavoidable. And the most important thing is that I let that bastard run away just now in order to save people. Kingayu looked at the secret passage above that had been completely closed, a little disappointed. Chapter 613 Stalemate. Doraemon took out the bamboo helicopter. Let's chase after them together. If we go now, we might still make it. Everyone put on the bamboo helicopter, and at this moment, another voice suddenly came from the side. Please wait a moment, I also want to participate in this operation. Nobita and the others looked in the direction of the sound, and found that it was the tall man lying on the ground. Now everyone was a little hesitant. Aren't you here to catch Luca? Why should we trust you? The man in armor stood up. The reason I want to capture them is because I want to use their power to save Kaguya. But when I brought them back, Diablo wanted to use them to make destructive weapons. I have fallen out with him and can't let his conspiracy succeed. The people present paused, then formed a circle and began to discuss their affairs. Sunia glanced at him secretly. What do you think? I personally think it's best not to trust the enemy, even if he is locked up in a dungeon. Kingayu shook his head. I think I can trust him. Because my intuition tells me that he didn't lie this time. I agree. It's always better to have one more friend than one more enemy. I'm willing to trust him once. Nobita also expressed his willingness to accept this new teammate. Then everyone exchanged glances for a while and stood in a row. We agree, but if you dare to betray, then we will make you pay the price. Doraemon took out a bamboo dragonfly from his pocket and handed it to him. Now you come with us. I swear on my life that I will do my best. Diablo learned from everyone to put the bamboo dragonfly on his head and pressed the knob of the bamboo dragonfly together. The escape passage is right here. Kingayu flew to a wall that looked no different from other places. It should have been closed by it just now. Kingayu tapped the wall twice to make sure that the back was hollow. Then he clenched his fists and his eyes instantly became fierce. Physical technique. Exploding mountain. Bang. Kingayu punched the wall with all his strength, and the solid iron sheet caved inwards and exploded in an instant, revealing a passage behind. After a brief surprise, everyone flew into the passage behind without hesitation and began to chase Diablo in front, intending to kill him while he was sick. Anyway, there didn't seem to be any destructive weapons on the ball, and there didn't seem to be any dangerous props in the passage. Now is the time when he is the weakest. Diablo also discovered the pursuers behind him, and his face on the screen was about to deform with anger. These bastards. Why haven't my reinforcement arrived yet? Have they also discovered the truth and chosen to betray my camp? Or has the distress signal never been sent out? Dekisugi, who was using his mental power to record the 6th notebook, suddenly sneezed. He seemed to feel someone quietly scolding him behind his back. Soon he flew out of his secret passage, and Diablo breathed a sigh of relief. Great, those guys didn't catch up. If we are out of the passage, this is my territory. He looked at the sleeping machines and the underground furnace nearby and smiled with satisfaction. My warriors, wake up. Diablo's body released an invisible wave, and countless pairs of blood-red eyes suddenly appeared nearby. My master Diablo, what do you want? 4 mechanical warriors who were exactly the same as before stood up. Stop the people behind me, make them into meat paste, and put them in the food of the residents of Kaguya Star. Yes, my master. Several robots responded in a deep voice, and then opened fire at full power, aiming at the passage just now. We are here. Doraemon looked at the light coming out of the hole in front of him. We can catch up with that guy and take back Luca soon. The people behind him also nodded. Their fighting spirit has never been so high, and victory is just around the corner. The blue fat man rushed out of the passage first, and then the surrounding machines instantly aimed their guns at him. Execute the command. Wipe it out. No. Doraemon looked at the countless bullets whizzing in, and his face turned green with fear. We are all machines, so we can't be so cruel, right? What is that? Between the trajectories of countless bullets, Doraemon seemed to see his first love girlfriend. Is it Miko? Long time no see. He closed his eyes and accepted this ending with pleasure. At least after he died, the people behind him wouldn't be hurt, right? Doraemon waited for a long time with his eyes closed, but he didn't feel any pain. He couldn't help but touch his body. I'm fine. Looking at the bullets being blocked around him, he suddenly remembered something and took out a bowl from his pocket. Oh, I haven't turned off this protective shield yet. Bullets and shells hit the barrier. The intensive attack was close to the limit of the protective shield, but it was not enough to destroy it. What's going on? The people behind also found something wrong. Why are there so many robots here? Doraemon, are you okay? The blue fat man slowly retreated to the entrance of the passage and used his body to protect the people behind him. Everyone, stand in the passage first and don't come out. The most important thing now is to find a way to save your life. Back off. We can't have any more sacrifices. Although the barrier is approaching its limit, there is no sign of damage, so there is no need to worry about life for the time being. Let me do it. King Guy once again aroused his demon power, intending to become huge again, to blow up those robots. But at this moment, a burst of blood-colored lines suddenly appeared on his body, calming his demon power. What's going on? He looked at his hand in astonishment. The magic pattern drawn by Yu and as he kept flashing on it. Because I'm worried about my identity being exposed. The magic pattern restricts me from mobilizing a large amount of demonic power multiple times in a short period of time. King Guy gritted her teeth. I can't do anything here for the time being. Do you have any other props to use? Doraemon shook his head. No, I'm an Annie robot after all, so I basically don't have any lethal props. Then the Thompson submachine gun you took out at home last time, isn't it also a lethal prop? Nobita suddenly revealed Doraemon's past. What nonsense are you talking about here? The blue fat man who was exposed by Nobita suddenly became angry. Believe it or not, I will shoot you sometime. Besides, that submachine gun can't cause fatal damage to it, so it's not a useful prop. The people around him were also silent for a while. Although this matter was a joke, it was a fact that it could not cause effective damage to large robots. Just when everyone was racking their brains, Doraemon took out a small bomb. Anyway, I'll find a way to break the impasse first. I have a prop here that can interfere with their sight, and robots can't avoid it. After I throw the bomb, everyone must stay close to me. Then he took out the performance enhancement liquid and sprayed it on the protective shield. Whether they can break this deadlock depends on whether the range of the protective shield is large enough. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 614 Desperate Situation. Just when Doraemon decided to take the risk, a large number of talismans suddenly fell from the sky. Fire Curse Judgment. The talismans burst into crimson flames at this moment. Every fire talisman that fell on the robot would melt a hole on the surface. Is this a talisman? King Guy understood instantly. It's Jali Saka and Lee Zinayu who are here. The people behind were shocked again. Are Jali-Saka and the exchange students from China also superpowers? They don't know anything. What? They came so fast? Diablo was also scared. Damn it, because my attention was all here, I didn't notice that all the cameras nearby were destroyed. With the help of the cloak, Jali-Saka flashed from the necks of the 4 robots, leaving a long scar on their bodies. Good opportunity. Kingayu and Tsuneyoshi Yuma rushed out at the same time. Pay the price for your actions. The two jumped onto a robot in an instant and kicked each other on the head with all their strength. Their heads were like chopped trees, breaking off from the cracks cut by Jali-Saka. They flipped several times in the air and finally fell to the ground helplessly. Damn it, my soldiers. Diablo watched his soldiers fall down and shouted in pain. Just wait, I will make you regret what you did. Kingayu and the others didn't care about Diablo's thoughts and rushed over again, hitting the remaining 2 robots. The robot that lost its data processing core stopped its actions, while Nobita and the others cheered in the back. They won. We won't meet again. Diablo began to fly upwards, where there was a secret passage he left behind. Nobita and the others saw that he wanted to escape and immediately chased him. Don't even think about it. Let's make a break here now. This bastard robot is a disaster. If he can be eliminated as soon as possible, it will be a great thing for both the Earth and Kaguya. You can't catch me. Diablo suddenly laughed wildly. You will die here with those robots. Ha ha ha. At this time, Lizanayu suddenly felt a bad feeling in his heart, as if something terrible was going to happen here. The furnace below, which was emitting a burning breath, suddenly boiled, and it seemed that something big was about to burst out from it. The temperature of the surrounding air gradually rose and became distorted. What are these? Why do I feel so dangerous? The superpowers present were staring at the exit of the furnace. Then a mechanical arm suddenly stretched out, and Lizanayu was shocked. Did this guy leave some strange machines here? This is not over yet. One after another mechanical arms stretched out from the flames of the furnace, as if they wanted to drag everything inside into hell. Seeing this, Lizanayu reminded loudly, listen, everyone, find a way to leave here now. The things below are about to come out. Everyone looked at the furnace below. The robots in a semi-melted state slowly crawled out of the furnace mouth, and the temperature in this closed room began to rise sharply. The others didn't care much. It's okay, we can kill this kind of small robot in one shot. Of course I know. But I don't know why I just feel very unsafe. Find a way to leave here. Lizanayu said as he dragged Jali-Saka into the air. He planned to leave here through Diablo's secret passage and chase the other party by the way. The others followed him and flew up. Anyway, they had to leave, so it didn't matter which way they chose. Kingayu flew to the door and planned to open the exit violently as before, but this time he miscalculated. The fist did hit the door panel at the entrance, but a pattern appeared around the door panel, blocking his full strength punch. What's going on? Kingayu was also shocked at this moment. The door here can actually block my fist? What material is it made of? The people behind were also scared when they saw this scene. How strong can a door that even Kingayu couldn't open be? There was no other way, so Lizanayu had to say, everyone go back through the original secret passage. Oh no, all the secret passages seem to have been blocked by Diablo. Everyone's heart tightened, and they quickly looked at the nearby exits, and found that all the exits had an extra metal door with the same metal as the secret passage above. Just now, when Diablo left, he activated his backup plan and completely blocked this area, just to bury them all here. Nobita hurriedly shouted to the blue fat man, Doraemon, try to see if you can pass it directly with the penetration ring. Doraemon nodded and stuck the penetration ring on the door panel, but the expected black circle did not appear inside the penetration ring. The surrounding robots have climbed up the wall, and the scorching airwaves began to spread towards everyone. The temperature in the air has quickly soared to 50 degrees Celsius. After a while, the blue fat man removed the penetration ring. No, the materials here cannot be analyzed, and the penetration ring cannot be used. So what does he want to do by trapping us here? Fat Tiger wiped the sweat from his face. Does he want to burn us alive here? The people around him also felt a sense of despair. Is it really that they are helpless now and can only wait to die? Unwilling, King Gayu stepped on his own cloud and began to rush down. I'll try to stop the robot's activities. You have to be careful. The people behind him could only silently bless him in their hearts, hoping that he would triumph. Coming to the nearest robot, King Gayu punched the robot in the face, and the robot, which was already in a semi-melted state, was separated from its head and body at this moment. The high temperature of the red-hot iron block could not burn through his skin, and this temperature would not cause any harm to him. Seeing the robot loosen its arm on the wall, King Gayu flexed his fist. It's not too difficult. Although the temperature of the surface is a bit high, I don't care about this high temperature with the protection of demonic power. Just when he was about to send all the remaining robots back, the robot that had only fallen a few meters suddenly exploded. In his astonished eyes, the flame wave instantly swallowed his figure completely. I know, this robot will explode, as long as it is destroyed. Lee Zenayu's eyes were full of despair. In this case, we can only be evaporated by the high temperature here. No, it's not time to despair yet. Jia Saka took off the cloak on his body. The teleportation function of this cloak is their last resort. He unfolded the cloak. This prop, I can only let it teleport 2 people at a time. Take the injured King Gayu away first. Okay. Everyone felt relieved, as long as there is still a chance. Anyway, those robots will take some time to climb up, so it doesn't matter if they wait for a while. Lee Zenayu brought King Gayu, who was burned by the explosion, to him, and darkness slowly enveloped the 2 people and disappeared in the room. But after a few minutes, they still didn't come back, and Nobita inside was fainting due to excessive water loss. At the same time, the alarm bugs left on the moon also sounded at this moment, and everyone present was officially in a desperate situation. Chapter 615 Genius Big Rabbit. Oh no, Shizuka, this bug is ringing. On the moon, Luna found Shizuka with the alarm bug left by Doraemon. What should we do now? Should we go and save them directly? Shizuka looked at the bug in her hand, and she was also anxious. She didn't expect that the other side really encountered something that even Doraemon's props couldn't solve. She was just a little girl. How could she save Nobita and the others who were in crisis? However, Shizuka was still ready to go through the spare pocket. Although she didn't know what was waiting for them, as long as she went through, there was still a glimmer of hope. At this time, Bugs Bunny next to her came over. Leave this matter to us. We will definitely not let you down. Hey, Mr. Bugs Bunny? But you are fantasy creatures and can't enter their world. Shizuka shook her head. This proposal was obviously not feasible. This is what we want to say. Bugs Bunny moved aside and made room for him. Next, let Nobita explain it. Nobita, who was wearing glasses at the back, walked in front of them and took out a green badge from his pocket. This is a latest product which can reverse analyze your badges. The final effect is. As he spoke, the big male rabbit put on the green badge. You can enter your fixed world from the different world. As soon as he finished speaking, the big male rabbit disappeared in this gorgeous house. Shizuka and Luna stood up at once. This rabbit can really analyze future props. In fact, this is not the first time. And as he has also analyzed several props before, but he has never told them. Moreover, the rabbits on the moon are made up of future props. Isn't it normal to analyze such things? After a while, the big male rabbit reappeared in the room. Now you can rest assured to leave the rescue to us, right? Of course there is no problem. Shizuka nodded vigorously, but before that, I have a request. Shizuka took a deep breath and said, they are my friends. If I don't appear in front of them at this time, I believe they will not be relieved. Please agree to let us go too. Shizuka bowed to them, which made Bugs Bunny touch his ears in embarrassment. Well, originally, for your safety, I didn't plan to let you two go. Since you said so, let's go together. Bugs Bunny waved behind him, and countless rabbits fell from the sky, holding the badges in their hands. Looking at the moon rabbit behind him, Bugs Bunny cleared his throat. I believe everyone has understood the mission this time. Now we are going to set off. If anyone quits because of fear, then please step back now. We won't blame you. The rabbits at the back were as steady as a mountain, and none of them retreated. They would never ignore the people who created them in danger. Very good. No one quits. Bugs Bunny said loudly. In this case, don't retreat when you get to the battlefield. Then he pointed at Shizuka. This is their friend. When the time comes, we must protect their lives no matter what, at all costs. Yes, Governor. We will swear to protect Miss Shizuka's safety. The rabbits behind him agreed in unison, and the momentum was very grand. Shizuka looked at the rabbits who were much shorter than her, and suddenly she felt touched, and had an inexplicable sense of security. Nobita and the others were still wiping their sweat in the sky. What should we do? Why hasn't that guy Kurisuka come back yet? I don't know. Maybe he encountered other difficulties? The Doraemon was so hot that he stuck out his tongue, and he was already exhausted. Really, as a nanny robot, I must have the ability to sense cold and heat, otherwise I would have uninstalled this function long ago. After a while, Nobita looked at the sky and muttered to himself, what's going on? Why did it suddenly get cooler? Are we saved? Oh no, he's unconscious. Wake up. Fat Tiger and Sunia slapped Nobita in the face without saying a word, making him regain consciousness. At this moment, Doraemon covered his stomach and laughed. Ahahaha. Who is making trouble in my pocket? Hearing this, Fat Tiger and Sunia's eyes lit up. Come from the pocket? In that case, has Shizuka come? Yes, and we can also return to the moon through the two-dimensional pocket, and then come over, right? As soon as the voice fell, Doraemon hit them. If we go back, then how can we get back here? The original escape pod is broken. The two of them instantly became quiet again. Now they can only hope that Shizuka can give them a surprise, although this possibility is not very high. After all, even Doraemon can't break the situation. Shizuka is just a little girl. What can she do? Wait, something seems wrong. Doraemon looked at the rapidly expanding pocket. The number of people coming seems to be beyond our imagination. As soon as the words were finished, endless light came out of Doraemon's pocket, and piles of rabbits rushed out of the pocket. What's going on? Doraemon subconsciously looked at his chest. We are not wearing the badge of alien theory. Why can we see rabbits? It's not the badge of alien theory, it's the badge of fixed theory developed by Big Rabbit. A frivolous voice came from the pocket, and then Bugs Bunny slowly walked out. Then he reached into his pocket like a gentleman, and pulled the two girls, Luna and Shizuka, out of his pocket. All the people were assembled. Fixed theory badge. Could it be? Doraemon looked at the rabbits, each of which had a green badge. That's right, Big Rabbit is a genius in magic patterns. He analyzed the principle of the badge, and made this thing through magic patterns. Then Bugs Bunny pointed at the pocket. By the way, there is still a rabbit that hasn't come out yet. You have to be mentally prepared. Doraemon put the pocket back on his stomach without caring at all. Isn't it just a rabbit? What a fuss. Wait, this rabbit you are talking about is not. A blood red arm slowly stretched out from the pocket, and Doraemon quickly threw his pocket out. Is it the blood rabbit? Ouch. The blood rabbit finally got out of the pocket and roared. It was so uncomfortable being squeezed just now. Now is not the time to talk about this. Get rid of these robots quickly. Doraemon pointed to the robots all over the wall. Otherwise we will really be roasted. Bugs Bunny also found that the temperature here was very abnormal, so he said to the rabbits behind, let's improve the environment. The rabbits raised their hands together. The magic power around them surged, and the blizzard spread around the rabbits. Thanks to their efforts, the surrounding temperature quickly returned to normal, and was even lower than the normal temperature before. Bugs Bunny also took off his gloves. Okay, now it's time for us to fight back. Rabbits, attack together. Chapter 616, Escape. Following the governor's order, the surrounding rabbits immediately prepared offensive magic, and the blood rabbit also began to charge large-scale lightning. Wait a minute. Doraemon hurriedly stopped them. These robots will explode after being attacked, so you can't destroy them directly. And now the robots are very densely distributed. If one of them is blown up, it is likely to trigger a chain explosion and kill us all. The blue fat man's voice finally reached their ears at the last moment, and all the rabbits stopped their actions. Just don't blow them up, right? Bugs Bunny thought for a moment and ordered again. All rabbits listen. Use blizzard together. The violent magic element around them dissipated, and all the rabbits gathered their magic again, and the temperature of the air dropped again. Okay, now watch me. Big Rabbit took out a prop from the badge. Magic amplifier. Everyone, inject magic power into the amplifier together. Seeing Big Rabbit take out a person-high silver platform from the badge, Fat Tiger poked Doraemon. "Why does it feel like you?" Fat Blue wiped his sweat helplessly. He didn't expect that he would bump into the rabbit here. Countless blue lights gathered on the silver platform, and the magic circle around the platform lit up, and then a bright sky blue light shot up from the center. With a sound like glass breaking, the light column exploded in the air, and endless ice spread to every corner of the room. And the Dr. Rabbit next to him waved his magic wand. The human body can't withstand this level of cold. Magic barrier. The purple light enveloped Big Rabbit and several humans, so that they wouldn't catch a cold, because they couldn't stand the cold. Wherever the frost went, everything was frozen, and the robots on the wall gradually condensed, because of the sudden drop in temperature. After a while, all the robots turned from red to black, and a thick layer of frost formed on their bodies and joints, completely losing the ability to move. Okay, these people are not too difficult to deal with. Bugs Bunny touched his ears. What should we do now? Is there any exit here? Nobita and the others shook their heads. All the exits were sealed by metal of unknown material, and they couldn't get out at all. Under the guidance of Nobita and the others, Bugs Bunny looked at the metal plate in front of him. Is this the thing? Simple. Come up, all the rabbits. Let them see the power of our magic. It waved to the back, and several rabbits with stronger magic power came forward. But this time the rabbit leading the way was not Bugs Bunny, but Nobita Rabbit. All rabbits, prepare the material conversion magic immediately. A burst of white light appeared in the hands of the rabbits behind him, and at this moment Doraemon slapped his head and suddenly realized, yes, why didn't I think of it? I have a material converter in my pocket, and I actually forgot about this good thing. I'm such a fool. Doraemon, who remembered it, hit his head in annoyance. If he had remembered it, this would not be a desperate situation at all. Nobita Rabbit's magic was fully charged, and all the rabbits cast magic on the metal plate above, and the metal plate began to change. The originally indestructible metal plate actually slowly softened, and the dark grey metal turned white, and it also emitted a faint fragrance. Doraemon sniffed and immediately understood the function of this thing. What? It actually turned the metal plate into rice cakes? Yes, this magic is often used when the country is short of food. Bugs Bunny showed a look of reminiscence on his face. But now the country has developed, and growing sticky rice is enough for daily needs, so it is no longer needed. After the passage was opened, a large group of rabbits led them to chase after it, intending to take advantage of this opportunity to kill Diablo. Help. Shizuka's voice came from the front. Is there anyone here to save me? I can't move now. Everyone paused for a moment. It seemed that Shizuka had encountered some great trouble. Bugs Bunny quickly ordered, let's go and take a look over there. After a while, everyone looked at Shizuka and covered their mouths. Haha, what kind of look are you in? Damn it, stop laughing. Find a way to save me quickly. Being watched by so many eyes, Shizuka's face turned red. Just now, he used the cloak to teleport, intending to send King Gayu to the passage in front first, and then send them one by one. But what he didn't expect was that he didn't choose the right landing point for the first teleportation, and he actually teleported into the wall. Under normal circumstances, he should have been crushed by the repulsive force caused by the different materials. But the Dark Star Cloak is a defensive magic weapon after all, so it barely saved his life. It is also because the energy is used for defense that the Dark Star Cloak can no longer be transmitted again, which leads to this very embarrassing situation. Don't worry, we will come to rescue you soon. Bugs Bunny suppressed his smile. Material conversion. Turn into rice cake. White rays were emitted from his hands, turning the metal near Shizuka into rice cake, and now Shizuka can finally come out. After coming out, he immediately took a bite of the rice cake beside him. This thing trapped him for so long. He deserved it. Okay, now is not the time for revenge. Nobita put on the bamboo dragonfly and prepared to take off. Diablo is in front, and we don't have much time left. The other rabbits also prepared to take off, and Shizuka did not continue to be angry. He picked up King Gayu and set off with everyone. He was not prepared just now. The damage caused by the explosion was deeper than they thought, otherwise he would not have slept for so long. Hold on now. Shizuka looked ahead, thinking to himself, I hope you and Dazzy has a way to treat you. At this time, Yu and as he looked at the modified Gatling and returned to the room contentedly. Izuki was still recording knowledge. Is your progress going well? He walked behind Sayashin. How much useful knowledge is left here that has not been recorded? Don't say you have only recorded a little bit now. Sayashin's mental power was writing in the air frantically, that's for sure, because the knowledge of this planet is far more vast than that of the Earth. After speaking, he threw a notebook that had just been written aside, but now I only need to record some of the knowledge that can be used. To put it bluntly, most of the knowledge here is about the principles of spacecraft modification and the manufacture of weapons. It's really boring. Then he stood up, but the good news is that I used 8 notebooks to copy down the parts that we can use now but can't remember. Seeing that Sayashin had also finished, Yu and as he nodded, that's good, Before he finished speaking, the ground of the entire base suddenly began to shake. Chapter 617. Die. What's going on? Yu and Dazi and Demishin were both nervous. Could it be that Shizuka and the others down below have caused some big trouble again? On the operating table in front of Demishin, the logo on the top of the round platform suddenly turned red and began to slowly expand outward. Seeing this situation, Sayashin shook his head. It doesn't look like it. It should be the leader Diablo's doing. Then let's go and join in the fun. Yu and as he moved his fingers, how can we miss such a grand event? Then Yu and as he released his spatial magic and wrapped them both. In order not to miss the big event, let's just teleport over. The space around the two people rippled, and with a flash of white light, their figures appeared above the entire building. It seems that I made a mistake in grasping the distance. Dazi quickly used the levitation technique. It's actually about 6 meters above the ground. The condition is really not good. Although he said so, Yu and Dazi did not feel the slightest bit of guilt, because this was also for their safety. If they were stuck in the wall, because of their pursuit of perfection, it would be really embarrassing. Oh, this is really fate. Yu and Dazi looked at the circular machine below. I didn't expect to meet this big robot again so soon. Chumashin immediately asked him back, have you seen it? Why is this thing not on the map we got? It should be, because it is top secret. The official rank of that person is too low, so he doesn't know. He didn't find it strange. After all, his source of information is just a small scum who didn't get in touch with the core. It is normal for him not to know the top secret information. The circular machine below suddenly spoke, ha ha ha, after 1,000 years, the king finally succeeded in resurrecting. Hearing this electronic sound, Yu and Dazi was also a little surprised. Huh, so this round thing can talk. I thought it was an ordinary war weapon. Just now he went over to hollow out the core of this thing, and the machine didn't respond at all, so he was surprised. The robot suddenly noticed Yu and Dazi below. Huh, are you also with those earthlings? Yes, it seems that you have suffered a lot in front of them. Yu and Dazi had an expression that deserved a beating on his face. The robot's expression was very angry at first, but then it suddenly calmed down. Forget it, I'm too lazy to bother with you about these trivial matters. Anyway, my flesh and blood have returned. When I absorb their power and return to the peak, I will let you know what a god of destruction is. Hearing him bragging in front, Yu and Dazi stared with a dead fish eye and picked his ear. Dare to say that he is a god. I really want to beat him up. Forget it, this matter is not important now. Why are Shizuka and the others not here? Could something have happened? Sayashin looked at Shizuka and the others and still hadn't come out, and always felt a haze in his heart. Ha ha ha, so smart. Diablo above smiled again. You are right, they should all be dead, right? Hearing this, Yu and Dazi's eyes changed instantly. What did you say just now? They are all dead. Although he didn't really believe this, but since the other party dared to say so, it meant that he must be very sure. That's right. Diablo began to take off and prepare to leave here. They are surrounded by my special robots. They should have been roasted by them, right? Hearing the explanation of the robot, he was not panicked. Just raising the temperature would not kill them. The Dark Star cloak was on Shizuka's body. That thing was best at dealing with high temperature objects. How could it die from high temperatures? Sure enough, as soon as the voice fell, those people immediately rushed out from the secret passage from Diablo. Stop right there, you bastard. I'm going to tear you apart today. That's right, I must take out your energy core. Shizuka also roared violently. Hey, what's going on? Looking at the crowd rushing up, he was even more surprised. Why are Nobita and the others here too? Zyadishan also frowned. Obviously, the spaceship had been forcibly stopped by Yu and Daisuke, so what did they use to get here? Diablo was also scared. Damn, how did you get out? That was a special metal door with a very complicated smelting process. There were not many on the entire Kaguya star. The incomparable hardness, special shock absorbing structure and round shell mechanical structure are simply not something that humans can break. Forget it, I'll leave first and see you again in the future. Diablo decided to leave this sad place as soon as possible. The power source behind him increased instantly, and he planned to use it to quickly move to the clouds in the sky. Anyway, the smoke clouds there are extremely thick, which can effectively block most detection methods. After entering, other people will definitely not be able to find it. Shizuka gritted his teeth in anger. Damn it, Yu and Daisuke, are you just watching? Then he put down Kingayu, who looked like a human. Look at how your brother was injured by him. Seeing Kingayu with a large piece of burnt black on his body, he unconsciously exuded pressure from his body. Did he do this injury? Yes, it was blown up by those flame robots. Shizuka nodded vigorously. Diablo smiled with satisfaction. Not bad. It seems that my robot is still. Oh, what's going on? Diablo soon found out in horror that there was something wrong with the flying device behind him. There was no way to maintain high-speed operation. What's going on? He was flying in the air. Why did my thruster break? Lack of maintenance? I don't think so. It's probably because some unimportant parts are missing. Yu and Daisuke stood up with murderous intent in his eyes. Diablo in the air was even more terrified. What did you say? When did you remove the parts in my body? Wait, if you have entered my body, then it wouldn't be. Diablo hurriedly began to check the internal structure, and there were indeed many parts missing. And even the most important energy converter, the blood red crystal, disappeared at some point. Yes, I took away all the things you are missing. He took out his Gatling. Your war weapon has been reborn in my hands. Diablo looked at the fiery red strange device below, but a feeling of fear rose in his heart. And he sensed a familiar aura from it, which meant that the thing was modified with its body parts. Yu and Daisuke adjusted the muzzle of the gun, and aimed at Diablo in the sky, and pulled the trigger hard. Chapter 618 Treatment Plan. The muzzle of the Gatling gun, which represented death, began to rotate slowly, and Yu and Daisuke felt that his magic power began to be madly drained away. Really, after being made into a magic-driven Gatling gun, the magic power requirements are really high. Just starting the energy of the Gatling gun made him frown, which was equivalent to 3 level 3 magics. When the muzzle in front completed the first circle of rotation, the magic patterns around the Gatling gun finally lit up, and the first flame shot out of the muzzle. The fire flashed in the sky, and even Diablo, the supercomputer, did not react, and the magic bullet had already penetrated its body. Nani? Diablo looked at his damaged body surface and felt extremely scared. Destruction was really coming. What? Are you scared? Yu and Daisuke laughed wildly below, and endless flames poured out crazily. These are not ordinary bullets, but shockwaves formed by gathering the purest destructive power at one point. Energy of this attribute is harmful to all matter. It destroys life and destroys the structure of matter. It was one of the existences that was originally listed as taboos by all races. But now the former order no longer exists, so Old Man Ling no longer cares about these rules. He just needs to improve his strength quickly. When the destruction Gatling was fully preheated, it finally reached its maximum firing rate, 50 bullets per second. Although the speed is not as good as the normal Gatling, what if the single point destructive power of each bullet is comparable to a 3rd level magic? Hahaha. That's right, that's it. I've wanted to shoot wildly with a Gatling for a long time. Thank you so much for fulfilling my wish. Yu and Daisuke laughed wildly and shouted, now take my most sincere gratitude to you, and go to hell with peace of mind. The destructive war machine in the sky, the culprit that caused the 1000-year pain of Kaguya Star, was gradually torn into pieces by the curtain of bullets. but the people behind him looked at Yu and Dazi standing on the ground and laughing wildly, and they couldn't help but feel fear and silently stepped back a few steps. "Hey, fat tiger," Sunia poked the person next to him. "Why do I feel that Yu and Dazhi is more terrifying than that Diablo?" Fat tiger also hugged Sunia next to him. "Yes, it's too scary." The two brothers trembled beside each other. The other Esper people also covered their foreheads. "When it's over, we must send him away quickly." Demushan also sighed. DZHI has probably returned to the state of the world without gratitude. I hope his rampage can end soon this time. As soon as the voice fell, the muzzle of the gun in Yu and DZHI's hand suddenly stopped working, and he knelt on one knee, and the Gatling gun fell to the ground. "What's going on?" The others ran over in a hurry. "What's wrong with you? Have you been possessed by Diablo?" He stretched out his hand with a dry body and lifeless eyes. "I was having too much fun just now and accidentally used up all my magic power." Everyone threw him to the ground with disgust. "TSK, it's just a small matter. Go and take a rest." Then Doraemon took out the medicine box from his pocket. "Now let's treat King Guyu's injuries. Try to open your eyes." The previous injuries on the body were almost healed, but the eyes burned by the flames could not be opened. After all, it was one of the most vulnerable parts of all parts of the body, and even Killen had great difficulty in healing itself. When King Guyu's eyelids were lifted, the cornea inside was severely burned, and the traces of carbonization were almost all over the eyeball. "There is no way." Doraemon put away the medicine box helplessly. "This kind of injury will not be able to heal on its own even in the future. We can only consider transplanting a new pair of eyes." Everyone sighed helplessly after hearing this result. They had expected the current situation, but they just couldn't accept this fact. King Guyu stretched out his hand to comfort everyone at this time. "It's okay, even if I can't see things, I still have the ability to live on my own, and it won't affect the battle. Don't worry." The blue fat man stretched out his hand and tried to comfort him. "Although there is no way to let him heal himself, I still have props to use." Then he put his hand in his pocket again. "For example, this medical miracle, the organ rental bag." Doraemon said while taking out a childhood nightmare prop and placed it in front of everyone. "This handbag can hold all kinds of living organs." The blue fat man put his hand into his pocket. "When needed, the organs can be taken out and used." As he spoke, he took out a pair of eyes from his pocket. "For example, just put it on a person and they can see the light." "Hey, Doraemon, you are disgusting." Everyone took a step back in disgust again. Not to mention that the properties of this prop are very strange. You put the eyeballs on your hands, which is a nightmare level event in itself, right? But the blue fat man looked at them with disdain. "TSK, what a fragile mind." Then he put the eyes on King Guyu's hand. "This prop can be placed on any part of the body, and after special treatment, there is no need to worry about bacterial infection." Sure enough, King Guyu did see the surrounding scene again through this prop, although the perspective was a bit strange. "Actually, there's no need to go through so much trouble." King Guyu touched his head a little embarrassedly. "Brother should have a way to treat me." Hiss, "It hurts." When he was touching his hair just now, the eye on his hand was accidentally pricked by the hair, and the pain was clearly transmitted to him. "I'll give this prop to you." King Guyu took off the eyeball and placed it on Doraemon's hand without any hesitation. Not only because he believed in Yu and Daz's healing ability, but the safety of these two eyes on his hands could not be guaranteed. After thousands of tempers, his body has long been tougher than steel, but these two eyes are different. At that time, the opponent can easily pierce his palm through the eyes on his hand, which is very disadvantageous in battle. Well, this prop is indeed very limited. Doraemon also put the prop back into his pocket. "If you change your mind, you can always borrow something from me." King Guyu nodded. In fact, he didn't care much about losing his eyes. Without vision, he still has hearing and smell, and when he fully utilizes these senses, they will not be inferior to vision. At this time, Nobita suddenly said, "By the way, Doraemon, you can use the time travel scarf now." Hearing this, Doraemon also jumped up happily. "Yes, how could I forget this prop? Look at my time travel scarf." Chapter 619 got it. After waiting for a while, Doraemon didn't take out anything and sat down on the ground in disappointment. I'm so sorry. Doraemon bowed to Kingayu apologetically, because the time-sharing towel broke last time. I didn't buy a new one. What? How can you say that? How can you not buy a spare for such an important thing? Nobita was instantly furious, and failed again at the critical moment. He touched his head helplessly. I can't do anything about it. That furoshiki is worth 10 million yen. You should know the financial situation of your family in the future, Nobita. How can I have the money to buy such an expensive prop? Really? Shizuka quickly pulled the two apart. Okay, stop arguing. Doraemon, where did you get the last time furoshiki? I once helped the future police department catch a criminal. That bag is a souvenir given to me by the principal. There are many collections of props. There is another time furoshiki in my sister's hands. You can borrow it from her when you go back. He touched his head very cherishingly. The value of this bag is far more than any of the props. Others also gave up. They couldn't take out 10 million yen to buy a time furoshiki. Although this prop is very useful. Don't be so sad. Zyadishan walked to the middle of everyone. I believe you and Dazi will definitely have a way to cure this injury. After saying that, Demishan also added in his heart that he actually had a way to cure Kingayu's eyes. Everyone nodded. We can only hope so now. But he seems to have no magic power now. It shouldn't be a big deal, right? Of course, don't worry. It's just a little magic power. It will recover quickly. Yu and Daz's figure suddenly appeared behind everyone. Speaking of which, why do you look so sad? Could it be that a few people are missing? His tone was very relaxed because he could confirm that no one had left the team. The others shook their heads and pointed at Kingayu. We are fine, but his eyes seem to be lost. Do you have any solution? Seeing this, Yu and Dazi pulled Kingayu in front of him and opened Kingayu's eyes. It's actually carbonized. Looking at this injury, Yu and Dazi also had a headache. Can you try to heal your eyes now? Kingayu shook his head. No, this organ is very important, and my self-healing ability can't heal it. That's troublesome. My healing technique can't heal the eyes either. Yu and Dazi let go of his hand on his eyes. Healing techniques can't heal the eyes either? Chumushin walked to Kingayu's side, waiting for Yu and Dazi's answer. Yu and Dazi nodded. That's right. Healing magic is not omnipotent. It can't heal all wounds. Zio-shan sighed lightly and planned to use his mental power to reconstruct Kingayu's eyes, but it would be very troublesome. Don't worry, I haven't finished yet. Yu and Dazi stopped him. Healing magic can't do it, but time can. After all, this matter is his family matter, and it is a bit unreasonable to let outsiders take action, and he is also a little worried about reconstructing the eyes. After all, he is not an anatomy person, and his understanding of eyes is half knowledgeable, so he may assemble some strange things. Let me do it. Yu and Dazi walked in front of Kingayu and put his hand on his eyes. Time goes back. A small clock shadow appeared behind Kingayu, and then people nearby could not see their figures. The reason why Yu and Dazi used magic to hide the situation here was for his own safety. It is hard to imagine what kind of waves a being who can control time will bring to this world. He himself doesn't like trouble, so in order not to get involved in disputes, it is necessary to hide his abilities to a certain extent. As time went backwards, blood first flowed out of Kingayu's eyes, and then flowed back into his eyes, until the moment before his eyes were not burned by the explosion. Yu and Dazi quickly stopped casting spells, and brought Kingayu's eyes at that moment to the present. It's okay. Yu and Dazi clapped his hands. Now try to open your eyes. Can you see the objects clearly? Kingayu slowly opened his deep blue pupils, and the scene in front of him appeared in his eyes again, which made everyone feel relieved. Finally I can see it. He looked at his familiar hands. Thank you, brother. Now I'm normal again. Yu and Dazi also put away his spells. It's nothing. After all, I can save you if you die. Thinking back to what happened in the demon world last time, he always felt an indescribable depression in his heart. Facing those who claim to be gods, they are still too weak now. Have I died? Kingayu touched his head and asked puzzledly, brother, when did I die? It seems that, because he did not die this time, he retained his original memory, instead of skipping the process of death like before. Nothing, just an analogy. Yu and Dazi touched his head, and skipped this heavy topic. Well, since this place has returned to normal, let's go back. Doraemon prepared to take out the modified spaceship. The matter here has been resolved, and all the Esper people have been rescued. There is no need to stay here. Tsuneyoshi and his sister looked at Yu and Daisuke. We have gained enough here. Do you have anything else to do? Yu and Daisuke shook his head. There was nothing worth staying here. In that case, then we will prepare to go back. After all, it's getting late now. At this time, Goddard in the back suddenly pointed at Luca and the others. Please wait a moment. I have something to say to them. What do you want to do? Do you still want to capture us back? Luca and Al looked at Goddard and entered a state of combat readiness. Actually, that's not the case. I captured you because I want to use your power to restore light to Kaguya. Goddard walked up to them and took off his sword. Now we have no reason to be hostile, and we won't attack you. Although Kaguya is now barren, it is not without the possibility of development. There is still a lot of geothermal and extraterrestrial energy that can be used, and we can still rebuild our home. Luca's body relaxed a little. The other party had tried to save them before, so he also wanted to see what this person wanted to say. 1,000 years ago, there was a prophecy circulating in my family that said that 1,000 years later, light and you will all return to this planet. Goddard took off his helmet while speaking, but for some reason, this prophecy seems to be only half fulfilled. How is this possible? You are. Luca and the others took a few steps back in disbelief. Nobita also saw the man's face and shouted in surprise, this is impossible. How could you be a biologist from 1,000 years ago? Chapter 620 Departure. Seeing Goddard's face, Nobita and Daisuke instantly remembered the photo they saw on the moon, exactly like him. That's not me, it's my ancestor. Goddard reached out and touched his head. Our family has been waiting for your return. Thousands of years ago, they created you and were proud of your existence, hoping that you could bring peace to this planet. But unfortunately, because of Diablo, their dream was shattered, but they still love you. He put a blue gem on his chest in his hand. So, I think I should show you this thing. Then Goddard reached out and pressed the gem, and a beam of light appeared in the air, turning into a scene from 1,000 years ago. Two people wearing Kaguya costumes walked to an open area, and many children ran to them, happily acting coquettishly near them. This is Dad, Mom. When Luca and the others saw this scene, tears gradually welled up in their eyes. Mozo also sighed. I didn't expect that after 1,000 years, I would have the chance to see them again. Nobita and the others looked at Luca and the others, and they were sincerely happy for them. Yeah, seeing their parents. I miss my own parents too. Yu and Daisuke and Kingayu found a corner and drew circles. You hateful guys, you don't consider our feelings. Goddard put away the light beam and handed the orb to Luca. You guys can take this thing, and you must keep it well. Is it okay? Luca hesitated. After all, this thing can be regarded as their family heirloom. Goddard smiled and stuffed the thing into his hand. It's okay. I believe the Goddard couple will be happy to see this scene, right? Looking at the orb in her hand, Atsuki no Luca silently held the heavy gift tightly. Don't worry, we will definitely protect this thing well. After receiving the gift, they finally officially entered the state of separation. Zyadishan suddenly walked over. Excuse me, can you let me see this thing? Because I'm more interested in the 3D image of this orb, so I want to study it. Okay. Luca hesitated for a moment and cast her eyes on her elder sister Luna. Can I give this to him? Luna nodded. No problem. If he can promise not to destroy the orb, it's okay to give it to him. After getting the consent of the elder sister, Luca put the orb in Dekisugi's hand and then walked to Doraemon. The blue fat man also took out the aircraft. Okay, now let's get ready to go back. Looking at a round escape pod with a hot air balloon tied to it, the surrounding Esper people cast contemptuous eyes. These sharp eyes seemed to say, this thing can go to the universe. Are you bullying me because I don't have enough education? Yu and Daisuke next to him laughed and rolled on the ground. Haha. Use a hot air balloon to fly to the universe? You are really crazy. After laughing enough, Yu and Daisuke called out the spaceship in the sky. Let me show you what a spaceship is. A spaceship with a light blue shell appeared in the sky. Even if there was smoke and dust everywhere, it could not cover the light of this spaceship. Doraemon, why can't you make the spaceship look better? It looks so weak now. Nobita covered his face and poked the blue fat man next to him. He felt that he was too embarrassed in front of Yu and Dazi and his friends. It's okay that they can't compete in magic at ordinary times, but this time they actually lost to this group of children in the past in technology. Where will they put their faces in the future? Who said we lost? Doraemon blushed. Using simple things to go to heaven is the biggest test of technology. TSK, whatever you say. Yu and Dazi and his group covered their mouths and laughed secretly. When Yu and Dazi was feeling proud, Chumashin next to him suddenly said, "Stop making a fuss. I have a great discovery." Oh. What great discovery? Yu and Dazi appeared in front of Zyashin in an instant, wanting to share his joy with him. Look at this. Chumashin used his mental power to take out a light spot from the orb, which looked very ordinary. What is this? It seems to be useless. Yu and Dazi instantly lost interest and decided to show off his spaceship. Don't leave in a hurry. Chumashin pulled him back. I remember you can promote plant growth, right? Come and stimulate this thing. Hearing this, Yu and Dazi also focused on this light spot. You mean, is this thing a plant? Yes, and I feel that this thing is very similar to the plants scattered on the moon in Doraemon. Chumashin's expression was very serious. If I'm not mistaken, this thing is a fast-growing plant, and it may have the ability to emit light. Are you serious? Goddard pulled Yu and Dazi away. This matter was very important to him. If there is a way to make this plant grow, then the entire Kaguya planet may regain its light. Yu and Dazi, who was pushed aside, patted his clothes. This guy seemed to be very strong, but he didn't mind and walked in front of Demushin. Let me do it. This little thing should be no problem. After all, this matter concerns the life of a planet. There is no need to be angry over a small matter. No, let us do it. Kaguya is our home, and we should save it. A large group of Esper people suddenly stood up behind him, all looking at the blue orb with a firm look. Luca took the lead and walked forward, and your body should not have recovered yet, so it is not suitable for doing this. Humph, then let you. Yu and Dazi did not fight with them. His current magic power was indeed not necessarily able to support this project. Since these Esper people can do it, he will naturally not be stubborn. And this is their home planet, so it is more appropriate to let them do it. 11 children with rabbit ears raised their hands together, and the blue light merged into the blue orb. After a while, a silver-white beam of light suddenly burst out from the orb, which spread out into countless light points in the air. Every place where the silver-white light point touched was like being coated with a layer of gold powder, emitting a rich glow. With this beam of light as the center, the dim earth became bright again. After thousands of years, the light fell on Kaguya again. The light is finally back. Goddard saw this scene and knelt on the ground happily. The prophecy of 1,000 years ago really happened. Kaguya really saw the light again. Seeing him like this, the others did not disturb him. They quietly walked into the spaceship and started to activate the transformed prop. Yu and Dazi also looked at Demushan next to him. Let's go back too, so don't disturb him. Zyoshan nodded, and the spaceship took the initiative to fly in front of them. Everyone walked into Demushan's spaceship one by one. The rabbits tangled in the two spaceships for a while, and finally all jumped into Doraemon's spaceship. Because they felt the power of space in it, they thought that there could be room for all the moon rabbits. Facts have proved that their choice was indeed correct, because if they chose a spaceship from Yu and Dazi, they would definitely be kicked out by him. Just like that, when everyone was immersed in joy, they quietly left this place. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 621, New Theory. Ah, finally we can go back. Yu and Dazi sat in his seat with his legs crossed, although it was short, but I gained a lot. Tsuneyosh's siblings behind him smiled. The things they got this time can make their family happy for a while. Only Giles pouted dissatisfiedly. Damn, I didn't get any benefits this time, and I wasted so much energy. It can't be helped. Who knew that the leader here would be a robot? It's really unfortunate. Yu and Daisy smiled and comforted him, and Shizuka closed his eyes helplessly. Forget it, this time I'll just treat it as a wasted trip to save the earth. The scene here is peaceful, but Nobita's side is completely different. Why don't we just use the pocket to go back? Because I brought the pocket with me when I crossed over. Shizuka waved a white bag weakly. Before, she considered that she would also have to fight, so she brought this thing over and prepared to use it for self-defense. Nobita pointed at the rabbits beside him. What about these moon rabbits? Did they all take the initiative to follow you here? Yes, I didn't expect them to play such a big role. Shizuka nodded. This time they were able to escape from the secret room, and these moon rabbits really played an indispensable role. Then please discuss with them next time. Can you send fewer people? Fat Tiger was almost squeezed into a pancake by the moon rabbits. Shizuka was also squeezed so hard that she could hardly speak. Now it's like this. Just bear with it. Anyway, we'll be there soon. Oh, don't squeeze. I can't operate here. Doraemon pushed away the moon rabbits around him and pressed the start button. With a flash of light, Doraemon and his hot air balloon disappeared in the outer layer of Kaguya, leaving only Yu and Daisy and his spaceship. Get ready, we have to speed up too. Izuki pushed the thruster to the bottom. Then now, the super time and space jump navigation device started full speed. As soon as the voice fell, their spaceship also entered the channel of light and disappeared in front of Kaguya. Nobita and his friends appeared near the moon first, because their technology seemed to be more advanced than the space drifting fleet they had encountered before. Manipulating the hot air balloon to land on the moon, Doraemon opened the lid above. We're here. Ouch. The huge blood rabbit pushed the blue fat man out from below. Then a large number of pink rabbits gushed out from below. Yeah, we're home. Great, we're free. Fat Tiger climbed up from below desperately, and he was finally not crushed by the sea of rabbits. After the rabbits arrived on the moon, they collectively took off their fixed badges and disappeared in front of them. Let's go and take a look. Doraemon redistributed the different badges to everyone. We have to thank them well when the time comes. No problem. Nobita and his friends put on the different badges with the Esper people and disappeared on the surface of the moon. Soon, Yu and Daisy and his team also appeared outside the Earth. We have arrived at our destination safely. Do you want to have midnight snack? Let's go to that seafood buffet restaurant in Tokyo. I'll treat you. Yu and Daisy took out a bunch of coupons from his pocket and began to plan the itinerary. After all, they just saved the world, so it shouldn't be too much to go to Tokyo for a big meal. At this time, several bosses in Tokyo suddenly felt a strange feeling in their hearts. Strange. Why do I suddenly feel that I'm going to be unlucky? No problem. Anyway, I'm in a bad mood. Eating something is just right to calm down. Shizuka folded his hands and agreed to this. Lisa and I also agreed. Okay, it's just right for me to secretly bring some dinner back to my dad, and I can also catch him drinking by the way. Others also expressed their agreement to this journey. Yu and Daisy threw his cloak, making the spacecraft enter stealth mode, and began to set off towards Tokyo below. Nobita and his friends walked to the gate of the Rabbit Kingdom and thanked the moon rabbits who saved them. Thank you very much for helping us at the critical moment. Nothing. You taught us civilization. This is just a small reward. Bugs Bunny went over and helped Doraemon up. The other rabbits nodded in the same way. Yes, it is our honor to help you at the critical moment. The moon rabbits were playing with Nobita, while Tsukino was discussing with her friends. Then it's settled, right? No problem. We also want to live that kind of life. The Esper people in the back nodded together, indicating that they all agreed with this proposal. As the representative of the Esper people, Tsukino walked up to Nobita. Nobita, can your badge create any world? Nobita shook his head. No, this badge of the Heresy Club can only be created by certain heresies that have been circulated for a long time. Really? That's a coincidence. We just meet this condition. Luca finally breathed a sigh of relief when she heard this. On Kaguya, there is an ancient heresy that the Esper people are just ordinary people and do not have superpowers. They are just like ordinary people on Kaguya. They will get sick, grow up, and age. If that's the case, we should be able to use that badge, right? Nobita and the others understood the meaning of this sentence, and their hearts trembled. They quickly asked, in that case, you want to? Yes, it's what you think. After discussing, we unanimously decided to live the life of ordinary people. Luca pointed at the Esper people behind her. Please make this heresy come true for us. Fat Tiger and Sunia looked at them in confusion. Why? It's so hard to achieve immortality. Why give up such a superior condition? At this moment, the two of them were the most unwilling in their hearts. Do you know how long they have envied you? And as he, you don't want superpowers. Can you give me this power? Luca took a deep breath. It is precisely because human life has an end that it is extra precious. We are tired of this kind of life, so we want to truly experience life. Please fulfill our wish. We want to build a new home on this moon with the moon rabbits and use our own efforts to build a better life. Seeing that they were so determined, everyone smiled and took out the alien microphone from their pockets. Then have you put on your badges? All the Esper people nodded, and the badges were already worn on their chests, ready to welcome a new life. The Esper people are just legendary creatures. Nobita came over and said, in fact, they are humans like us, without superpowers, and they will age and die like us. As soon as the voice fell, the alien microphone began to rotate, and the new alien theory has been realized in the alien world. Chapter 622. It's time to say goodbye. Under the effect of the badge of the Heresy Club, all the Esper people lost their ears, and were also free of burden. Thank you. Luca Tsukino touched her head and thanked them. We will definitely remember your help. It's okay. We should thank you for bringing us a different adventure. Everyone responded with a smile. Looking at their peaceful signs, Doraemon couldn't be happy no matter what. This prop should not be usable, right? He had a lot of out-of-print props in his pocket, and this badge of the Heresy Club was one of them. It was discontinued due to its complex process and raw materials. In other words, the badge in his hand now is the only set of badges of the Heresy Club known in the future. Looking at Luca's happy smiles, Doraemon finally made up his mind. Everyone come here, I have something to say. Doraemon held the box sadly. I thought about it. In order not to let people disturb their lives, we may have to leave. The mood of others instantly sank, including the Esper people next to him. Nobita and the others asked in confusion, what does this mean? What do you mean by leaving? It means exactly what it says. It's time to take off the badges and completely disband the club. Why? Nobita grabbed his head in confusion. Are they going to separate from the friends he had made with great difficulty? Doraemon's attitude was very firm, because I'm worried that the other party will target the Esper people and use them as weapons. Did you see the pit on the Kaguya satellite? If someone uses their power to destroy the planet, who will bear the responsibility? Doraemon pulled Nobita's hand away. So, we must destroy this Heresy Club badge. This prop is the only bridge that allows us to find them. Only by taking off the badge forever can they get real peace. Nobita still tried to persuade him, but if we don't tell anyone, won't no one know? Why must we destroy the badge forever? If they want, we can't keep the secret. Doraemon sighed. Don't forget, even my memory chip can be read by others. He remembered that the last time in front of the gratitude prison, the police read his memory and convicted him. As for you, I don't think you have the ability to keep this secret at all. Doraemon shook his head. He casually took out a confidence shaker from his pocket. Now, Nobita, tell us in public the most embarrassing thing in your life. When Nobita heard this, his face instantly became tangled. After a while, he uttered a few words helplessly. I was still wetting the bed when I was 9 years old. Ha ha ha. All the people and rabbits around laughed. They didn't expect Nobita to still wet the bed at such an age. But soon they restrained their smiles and looked at Doraemon. So, there is really no room for negotiation on this matter? Doraemon nodded and put the confidence shaker back into his pocket. The result is already obvious, isn't it? The people and rabbits present fell silent. Even such a shameful thing could be said in public, and there was really no need for negotiation. Nobita walked to Luca and said, then we will separate here. You must take good care of yourself in the future. Luca nodded and then hugged Nobita and said, I will. Don't worry. I will remember you for the rest of my life. Sunia also walked to Luna. Luna reached out and held Sunia and said, thank you. I will never forget you. Me too. After Sunia finished speaking, He turned around and started crying loudly. He finally found his true love. Fat Tiger walked to Al and squatted down to give him the gift he brought. This is for you. Although it has been crushed. Al tried hard to hold back his tears. It's okay. I really like this gift. The two of them were also very sad. They finally found their soulmates after a long time, but they had to face separation. Doraemon came to Bugs Bunny and said, "You two, you can't use the badge of determination anymore." Bugs Bunny looked at the emerald green badge in his hand, sighed helplessly, and collected all the badges of determination. Then Blood Rabbit walked forward and destroyed all the badges of determination with magic, leaving no trace. Nobita also wiped his tears. "I know, I will list this magic as a forbidden technique and will never pass it on to others." "That's good. For everyone's peace, it must not be passed on to others." Doraemon also nodded. He was actually reluctant to leave here. "Has everyone said goodbye?" Doraemon walked to the center of everyone. "Now we are almost ready to leave. Don't stay here too long." Nobita shouted dissatisfiedly, "Why? Can't you even give me a little more time to say goodbye?" "Stingy. Yes, I'm a stingy person. Now everyone is ready to leave." He turned around forcefully and left his back to everyone. Doraemon also wanted to stay here for a while, but this is why he can't stay here. If he took another look at the Rabbit Kingdom behind him, he was worried that he would change his mind and not destroy the badge of the Heretic Club. "Then let's say goodbye here." Nobita and the others also turned and left. "Although we won't see each other again, we will definitely cherish this memory. We are the same." The rabbits also waved to them, with tears in their eyes. After Doraemon confirmed that everyone was on board, he started the escape pod and flew back to Earth. "After you go back, remember to apologize to your parents. It's wrong to sneak out at night." "Don't worry, we know." Everyone answered him in unison, and the scene was a little more relaxed than when they just said goodbye. Doraemon also smiled. "Why, aren't you sad anymore?" Everyone shook their heads together. "It doesn't matter. This is not the first time we've said goodbye. No matter how long we delay, the separation will come. I believe that they will live well on the moon, and we don't need to miss them. We just need to live our own lives." Fat Tiger nodded. "That's right. If we can meet again, I must let them hear the duet between me and Al." "No, forget it." Everyone stretched out their palms to him, indicating that this matter was absolutely not allowed. Seeing everyone treating him like this, Fat Tiger's face immediately turned red. "You are so hateful. Wait and see how I punish you today." Stop right there. In this long-lasting chase, everyone's hearts gradually regained vitality. Yes, this is a life. You have to live a good life too. Chapter 623 Their respective opportunities. After Nobita and the others went home one by one, Yu and Dazi also sent the others home one by one to report to their parents that they were safe. After sending the others back, Yu and Dazi looked at the last Tsunayoshi siblings and said, "Let's go. I'll take you back in good condition to report." Dekisu was about to leave first. "Then I'll go back first. I haven't reviewed the content for tomorrow's study yet." King Guy also yawned. "Me too. I need to recuperate for a while after being injured, and I'll order more food when I go back." After the two left, Yu and Dazi also used the Dark Star Cloak to teleport them to the home of Tsunayoshi's siblings, where people were busy preparing for the next reinforcement. Seeing them coming back, Yumi's mother was surprised. "Why are you back so early? Didn't you go?" "No, we went there and made a big fuss, and we're back." Yu and Dazi pushed the two people in front of them. "How is it? The people are brought back safely." The head of the family quickly recovered from her surprise. "Well done, Yumi. How did you get?" After all, she is the head of the family, and she still has to have the right temperament so as not to embarrass herself in front of outsiders. But to be honest, she didn't really hope to get back the good stuff because the time they were there was too short. According to the child's description, they should have robbed the people and left, and there was no time to stay and slowly search for the spoils. It's a good harvest. Yumi took out precious metals from her space ring. That's about it. A large number of metal wires and circuit boards filled the entire room, all of which were the good things they dismantled. So many? The head of the family felt that her worldview was shocked. What if they said they would leave after the fight? How could they have time to take these things? "Then I'll leave first." Yu and as he controlled the cloak to wrap his body. It's a pleasure to cooperate this time. I hope I will have the opportunity to ask for your help next time. After that, he disappeared in the room, leaving the head of the family and a group of elders still in a daze. Yumi, did you bring all these back? The head of the family looked at Yumi. Tell me about your experiences during this period, the more detailed the better. After Yu and as he returned home, he saw Kingayu holding a pile of raw meat and putting it in his mouth. It can be seen that he was very hungry. Hey, how can you eat raw meat? He walked over and snatched the segmented insect meat. You must cook it before you can eat it. It's okay. It's normal for the demon race to eat raw meat, right? Kingayu pouted in dissatisfaction. Sure enough, people of different races find it difficult to find common topics. While arguing, Ziozi next to him swung his tail and rubbed his feet with his head next to Yu and Azuki. Hey, Ziozi. Yu and as he leaned over and picked it up. Why did you dare to come here suddenly? What's the matter? It probably wants the modified weapon from you again. The figure of old man Ling Feng suddenly appeared beside Yu and Azuki. He was a little curious. Why does it want the Gatling gun? Is it planning to change from a mage to a gunner? At this point, he simply imagined the kitten wearing a cowboy outfit and holding a Gatling gun. Although it was very funny, for some reason, he actually felt a little bit of handsomeness. No, it doesn't want the Gatling gun to attack. The soul-devouring monument interrupted his fantasy. Ziozi should be attracted by the heart of destruction inside. Its energy is different from yours. You are a magician with balanced abilities and basically have no obvious weaknesses. But Ziozi is different. His energy is basically destructive, so the heart of destruction has an absolute attraction to him. The old man took out the Gatling gun from his cloak. Give it this heart of destruction for now. This is also its chance. If he has the ability to comprehend something from it, then it will only take a moment to condense the altar. Yu and Dazi nodded and did not object to this. Well, it's getting late today. Let's prepare to rest early. After that, Yu and Dazi pulled Kingayu out of the room. Children will not grow tall if they don't go to bed early. As for Ziozi, he rolled on the ground holding the fiery red heart of destruction and began to comprehend the energy inside. By the way, this time can't be wasted. The old man waved his hand, and the surrounding natural forces began to flow into the heart of destruction. Anyway, it's a feeling just right to charge this thing. If you have to use magic power to start it every time, it will be a bit disadvantageous in battle. Then old man Ling picked up the Gatling gun again, and the first second of warm-up is also very serious. I still have to find a way to improve it. If you are weak, then a 1-second delay is naturally nothing. Anyway, the opponent can't touch you. But now that you have become a magician, you can move hundreds of meters per second, and now the problem is bigger. Fortunately, he took it out and tested it, so that we can find these problems. The old man sighed, and began to modify the machine. I really didn't expect that I, the inheritor of the demon clan, would one day worry about human machines. It's really unpredictable. Recalling the experience of thousands of years, this is the first gun he has come into contact with. Every time he thinks of this, old man Ling can't help but sigh. Alas, the times have really changed. Although he doesn't want to admit it, the ruler of this world is now human beings, created by Lady Nuwa. He lost the final battle, and his creator Deng Huantai was defeated and died. It is impossible to say that he does not hate humans. But when the old humans attacked for the second time and planned to massacre the demons, it was these new humans who saved them. So his attitude towards these people is very strange now. He has some hatred, but also a hint of gratitude. Finally, the transformation is completed. After working for half a night, old man Ling finally completed the transformation of Gatling and threw it on the ground. Now let's go to the sky to talk and get some information. As he spoke, the old man's figure appeared directly outside the sky. As long as he can reach a place with his thoughts, he can reach it instantly. Is there any action from the Proteus? The rebirth grass was intercepted some time ago. Isn't the sun god anxious? Prometheus shook his head. The Proteus found the paradise from the fragments of another world some time ago and drained the remaining source of paradise to heal themselves. So, the paradise has completely ceased to exist. The old man also sighed. Prometheus bowed and said, now the sun god has recovered some of his fighting power and seems to be making preparations to come here in person. Chapter 624 Burial Badge. What? That coward actually dared to come here in person? Old man Ling Feng suddenly felt as if he had heard it wrong. Doesn't he have to wait until his subordinates have paved the way for him before he comes to finish it off at the last minute? Yes, my master. But the temptation this time is too great for him, and he doesn't feel comfortable handing it over to others. Prometheus's flame kept flashing. What should we do now? Wait for him to come, and then kill him? Ling Feng shook his head. Since he dared to come, he must have left some tricks up his sleeve. And if he dies, those two people may wake up. Now we don't have the strength to directly confront them. Prometheus's swaying flames gathered. Got it, my master. The old man stroked his beard and continued to ask, then did he say when he would be back? No, and his body must rest for a while before he can move. It may take about a month or two. After listening, Ling Feng was silent for a while before answering. Keep monitoring first. Don't expose yourself. Don't worry. Prometheus looked at the disappearing Ling Feng, and his own flames gradually disappeared in the outer space of the earth. The next morning, King Guy, who had gotten up early again and was training his body and physical skills. Ling Feng looked at King Guy and silently calculated the child's physical strength. It will probably reach its limit in 2 months. After the body is trained to a certain extent, the strength will stagnate, and no matter how much practice is done, it will not improve. At that time, he only needs to concentrate on practicing his demon power and magical powers like Yu and Daisuke, and he doesn't need to get up every morning to practice. It's not a good idea to let him stay here all the time. Old man Ling Feng touched his chin and thought, let him have some contact with other humans appropriately. After all, the insidiousness and cunningness of humans are ranked among the 10,000 races I know, and contact with them can promote the growth of intelligence. Gian and as he had already put on his school bag. Then I'll leave first. Don't eat raw meat when you are hungry, understand? He tapped King Guy's head gently, then turned and left the house, and by the way, pulled Nobita up, who was still in the quilt. After school in the afternoon, Nobita found Yu and Daisuke. Can't you lift the seal on the back mountain? Huh? Why do you want me to lift that thing? Daisuke looked at him in confusion. It seemed that his sealing of the back mountain had nothing to do with them, right? It's like this. We want to bury the badge of the Isho Club in the back mountain, but we can't dig it after you hardened the soil. Hearing this, he looked at Nobita even more puzzled. Why did you bury the club badge for no reason? Sorry, I forgot that you were not here when I made the decision yesterday. The whole thing is like this. Nobita vividly described the process of why they decided to bury the badge yesterday. Gian and Daisuke hesitated for a moment. Is this badge really buried like this? It obviously has many uses. Okay, I'll touch the seal later. Gian and Daisuke walked towards the back mountain. Wait until you bring the badge. Seeing that Yu and Daisuke agreed, Nobita immediately ran home and told Doraemon the news. Why bury it in the back mountain? Doraemon looked at Nobita. Obviously, we can just find a random place to bury it. Anyway, my secret props will be decomposed, and the whole process only takes a few days. Nobita smiled and sat in front of him. Think about it, Doraemon. What if someone digs out those badges after we leave? But if we bury them in the back mountain, then with the magic circle of Yu and Daisuke, ordinary people will definitely not be able to dig them out, right? That way we can ensure absolute safety. Doraemon touched his head, as if it made sense. So he agreed. Okay, then it's decided. Let's call the others over, and let them witness the last moment of the Isho Club. Okay. Nobita agreed, and the two immediately split up, and asked the others to gather at the entrance of the back mountain. More than 10 minutes later, Nobita, Doraemon, Shizuka, Sunir and Fat Tiger came to the back mountain, and walked into this mysterious mountain together. The originally ordinary back mountain now has alien footprints, mysterious big bugs in the white bamboo forest that appeared at some unknown time. It is no longer normal. On the way, Fat Tiger looked at Nobita, who was leading the group. Nobita, did you and Yu and Daisuke agree to meet at the place above? He and I didn't agree to meet there. Although he said so, Nobita showed a confident smile on his face. Although he didn't say where, I believe he will definitely wait for us there. That place? The others repeated in unison, and then turned to look at Nobita. After a while, Nobita came to the silver grass field. Yes, it's here. Yu and Daisuke and Imashin were sitting on the high platform in the distance. When they saw them, they waved to them. You are here. Seeing that they were already waiting, everyone ran towards them. Sorry, I kept you waiting for a long time. Yu and Daisuke and Imashin also stood up. I guessed that you would think of this place. After all, this is the place where you first met. That's right. Look at Tsukino and I met here for the first time. Nobita saw that everyone was in sync and smiled happily. Doraemon took out a small shovel from his pocket. There is not much time today. Let's start working. Okay, I have lifted the restrictions on the back mountain. Yu and Daisuke reached out and touched the ground, and the magic pattern below appeared and lost its function. Nobita picked up the small shovel, dug a hole where they had taken the spaceship before, and put the box of badges in it. Luca, I will remember you. Nobita looked at the last badge and thought, I will never let anyone disturb your peace. The others also smiled and slowly sprinkled soil on the box, burying this beautiful memory in their hearts. After burying it, Yu and Daisuke activated the seal. I will not lift the seal in the next week. Is that enough time? Yes, it will only take 4 or 5 days to decompose. Doraemon turned and walked down. Yu and Daisuke took out a bunch of invitations again to celebrate the perfect end of the adventure. Let's go to a buffet together. Demishin smiled and dragged Yu and Daisuke away. Don't take this matter to heart. Go back and have dinner. Chapter 625 Fat Tiger's Farewell Declaration. In the blink of an eye, it was June 12th. Today was still the same as usual. Yu and Daisuke was tutoring Dakshin at his home. At this moment, Fat Tiger suddenly knocked on the door below. Nobita, Doraemon, I need your help with something. After getting Daisuke's permission, Dakshin went down to bring him up, and the three of them watched him here together. Is Yu and Daisuke here too? Fat Tiger found a place to sit down. I came here today to announce a sad thing to you. Under the surprised eyes of the three people, Fat Tiger took a deep breath to calm down and finally said slowly, I, Fat Tiger, plan to bid farewell to the entertainment industry and never sing again. Hearing him say this, Yu and Daisuke was very excited, but when he calmed down and saw that this guy was lying again. However, Yu and Daisuke did not intend to expose this lie for the time being. Even if this sentence was false, it was said by him. As long as this matter is used well, then Fat Tiger will never have a legitimate reason to sing in the future. What? You are going to quit the entertainment industry? Nobita and Doraemon stood up excitedly. This is really good news. Let everyone know quickly. Shut up. What's your attitude? Are you really so happy if I quit? Fat Tiger stood up angrily, rolled up his sleeves, and was about to attack the two of them. A few seconds later, Yu and Daisuke stepped on Fat Tiger's back. How is it? Have you calmed down? I know, I was wrong. I will never do it again. Fat Tiger on the ground was bruised and looked like he had been severely punished. Nobita and Doraemon next to him looked at him gloatingly. He really deserved it. Didn't they see that there was a boss next to him? If it weren't for Yu and Daisuke, the superpower, they wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. Fat Tiger slowly got up and stared at them fiercely. You remember this? Okay, let's talk business. Fat Tiger gathered his emotions. I plan to hold a farewell concert. Farewell concert? What is that? Nobita looked at Doraemon next to him, trying to find an answer. Before a singer leaves, he will hold one last concert as a ceremony to leave. Doraemon roughly explained this thing, and then waited for Fat Tiger to continue. Fat Tiger looked at Yu and Daisuke, who was silent beside him. If it is the last concert, you won't refuse, right? Yu and classmate? No problem, I won't obstruct. Yu and Daisuke raised his hands to show his approval. Seeing that the biggest obstacle also agreed, Fat Tiger silently praised himself in his heart. He was really smart. Some time ago, because of Yu and Daisuke, he had not been able to sing, so Fat Tiger's heart had been depressed. And even if the concert was held reluctantly, the audience below did not cheer loudly, and there was no mood to sing at all. If he hadn't suddenly seen a popular female star's farewell concert today, he really couldn't convince these two people. Fat Tiger thought sinisterly in his heart. Hehe, let Yu and Daisuke agree first, and sing to his heart's content on the stage. Then the fans below will cheer very enthusiastically, and then I will make a comeback on the grounds that everyone doesn't want me to leave. Even if it's Yu and Daisuke, you can't go against the wishes of the fans, right? Now his heart was already blooming with joy. Seeing his appearance, Yu and Daisuke had roughly guessed Fat Tiger's thoughts in his heart and wiped his saliva on the tatami with a look of disgust. Sorry. Fat Tiger quickly reacted to his own gaffe and quickly restrained his smile. Can you help me decorate the venue? Of course, leave it to us. Nobita and Doraemon patted their chests and agreed to this. If Fat Tiger could stop singing from now on, it would be a great thing for the whole town. How could they refuse? Fat Tiger also smiled happily. He was really a smart and good child. That's good. As for the date of my concert, let's set it on June 15th for now. June 15th. The two of them became nervous instantly. They actually forgot about that terrible day. After saying this, Fat Tiger waved at them, then turned and left Nobita's room. Seeing the two people in a daze, Yu and Daisuke asked curiously, is there anything special about that date? Yes, that's the most terrible day of the year. Nobita and Doraemon turned their heads and looked at Yu and Daisuke. June 15th is a disaster day. Nobita swallowed hard because this day is Fat Tiger's birthday. Everyone must meet his unreasonable demands. Yu and Daisuke also frowned. If it was his birthday, then this matter would be difficult to handle. When they were young, they always looked forward to birthdays, so he could understand the feeling of having their birthdays ruined by others. It was really unpleasant. So what if it's his birthday? Yu and Daisuke made up his mind. Just because he celebrates his birthday doesn't mean he can unconditionally harm my interests. He could make some concessions for Fat Tiger's birthday, but it was impossible to make him retreat to the edge of the cliff. That's it for today. Anyway, you've almost finished your homework. Yu and Daisuke carried his school bag. I have something to do at home, so I'll go back first. Okay, be careful on the road. Nobita and Doraemon waved goodbye to Yu and Daisuke, and then began to discuss the concert. Nobita stood up, full of energy. I plan to tell everyone about this quickly, so that they can have fun together. That's right. Doraemon also stood up, and the two walked to the door to put on their shoes. After Yu and Daisuke returned home, he reached out and picked up Zyrozy. You could still have the Heart of Destruction. At this time, Zyrozy successfully created the 4th level of the Altar of Destruction and officially entered the 4th level. After all, it has been hoarding magic power for a long time, but its own realm has not reached the standard. Throwing Zyrozy aside, Yu and Daisuke put the Heart of Destruction into the modified Gatling gun, and then put it into his cloak. Then he walked to the desk. I can probably guess what Fat Tiger is thinking, but I can't let him succeed. His expression gradually became gloomy. From the moment the farewell concert ends, I will never let you sing again. Of course, I believe that with his personality, he will never keep this promise, so I need a little help. Yu and Daisuke took out a colorful magic stone from his cloak. Let this little thing do the rest for me. It only needs a little processing. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.